Yes, hello. I am James Rollins, and today it's the WNR404. We are live, and what a show we have. All the latest news, Raw and SmackDown review, and all the Rumble goodness. But luckily, I am not alone. I'm to be joined by the entire WNR team. First up, and for the first time this year, incredibly, it's Monty. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, refreshed for the first time this year. I know that it was even weird to me to think about, but yeah, happy to be back. Happy to be back talking about pro wrestling and just like, come on, the Royal Rumble, one of the most, just notorious and always special pay-per-views for WWE. So, or specials, I think they're calling them live event specials now. So yeah, one of the most specials that they have. So I'm definitely excited to be doing this show. Like who doesn't love the Royal Rumble match? So yeah, I'm happy to be returning on this event. Of all the events I could be returning on, it's really, really good, special to be here. So yeah, I'm dope. This is dope. I'm really happy to be back.
Well, like I said, it's always fun to have you on the show. And next, she is always by my side for every WWE event, good or bad. It's Jaxie. How you doing?
Hello. Yes, I am. I am the partner in crime, and I am ready to rumble. Hello, everyone.
It's great to be, like I said, when we get together, it's always a lot of fun. And up next, and let me say, last but by no means least even, she's becoming a regular. It's Genius Gina. How you going?
Always the genius here, happy to give my insight. I'm so excited to join you all.
Well, it's going to be so much fun. Obviously, we've got Rumble mini games and, of course, the predictions that we're going to do for that as well. But last time we were all together, we looked at what January had in store. And to start the year with a bang, it was Wrestle Kingdom. Now, there was 3 nights of this event. So I thought, what better way to do than kind of make my own Wrestle Kingdom. So I picked 9 matches out from the whole show. I will apologise to completely slaughtering some of the names that are going to be here as well. That always happens, but we try a little bit with New Japan. Monty, we talk about a lot to watch in January. Was 3 nights of Wrestle Kingdom getting you excited at this point?
I mean, honestly, Wrestle Kingdom in general was just like always a special night for me. So the fact that it was 3 this year was just the icing on top. And not even just for me. Like, I can only imagine what it felt like for fans of Noah and like even fans in Japan watching New Japan work with another wrestling promotion in Japan in Noah. So like all the fans like being able to just watch both promotions do a nice show for the 3rd night, and then like I said, they've pretty much the last few years turned Wrestle Kingdom into a 2-night event. Like it, for a while now. So I'm used to this. They are, marathon. So I can understand if you're a wrestling fan who don't necessarily like 3-hour, 4-hour shows and having to sit through, 2 days in a row of them. And then you have the one, even though they gave you like a couple days in between, it was also still a very special show. I can understand that the pacing being off for some, but for me, someone who really loves New Japan and just love the Japanese style, strong style, professional wrestling, this is just right up my alley, man. I loved it. I live for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I'm learning things, and this is what I hope everybody listening here as well. It's like January 4th. Wrestle Kingdom's always on January 4th, no matter what day of the week. So I didn't realise that. I looked, I was like,
it doesn't matter. It's always going to be the 4th.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah, if it's a Wednesday, Friday, whatever it is, always on the 4th. The first night had a lot of action in, and I basically started watching it from Ren Narita versus, oh my God, Katsuyori Shibata. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, Katsuyori Shibata. You're right. Right on the money.
So why was this special, Monty, for anybody that might not know?
Well, if you don't know anything about Shibata, he was he's one of those guys one of the pillars of New Japan over the last decade or so, and he was very, very physical. I put him in that same vein as a Hiroshi Tanahashi, and even a Shinsuke Nakamura. They all were in the same class in the 2000s, and we're like I said, the main stars of New Japan held this company together during some downtimes in that company. So he's very, very important when you're telling the story of what New Japan is and how big it is now. And if you didn't know, a few years ago in the title match against Okada, he gave him a pretty stiff headbutt, and come to find out that resulting from the injury in that match, they thought that he was gone. He was going to have to retire. No more wrestling for him. He's very, very, very physical. Like, he does like non-protected headbutts all the time. Like, he's a badass. Like, if you ever know anything about Shibata, he's tough as hell and he's a badass. And this was very special because this was his first official, like, just wrestling match since kind of like in a Daniel Bryan sense, like when he or Bryan Daniels and now when he left and got his return match. This is what this was for Shibata, a return match. And he actually even broke the rules in this match because this was supposed to be another exhibition kind of style match like Zack Sabre Jr. And instead of going 5 minutes, they went 9 minutes. And it was really physical with a guy who's kind of like his student in Ren Narita. As you can tell in that match, he looks up to Shibata, and it was really, really fun to see that, and special for a lot of people. I know people who were in tears just watching him return to the ring. So it was a very, very special moment.
Monty, as a person that doesn't actually watch a lot of New Japan wrestling, can I quickly ask, was there any special stipulation for this match? Because you just mentioned that he did something that wasn't normally necessarily like. Right. So was it like a no disqualification or?
Right. So like it was like more like a catch rule. Like him and Zack Sabre Jr. in his original first appearance back had kind of like a grappling contest where they weren't really doing any wrestling holds or moves, but they were, just grappling and scoring points that way. Like I said, kind of like in an exhibition. Well, in this match, instead of it being an exhibition like that one, he kind of went and they just went ahead and just actually had a regular professional wrestling match. And he didn't do anything inherently wrong. It's just with the company didn't even know that he was going to actually just go and have an actual wrestling match because they're trying to ease him back into it with his retirement because, some people don't know how much he actually can do. And he just kind of want them to let the reins go and let him fully return. And I guess that's kind of what took place. But he apologized right after Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, right after the match. He went and apologized. He said he's probably going to be in trouble for that. But I think everyone's so happy to see him back in the ring and okay. I think everything went fine. Like, he may not talk down by a couple of people, but I'm pretty sure everyone's just happy that it went smooth and everyone was fine.
Well, like you said, it's 1,752 days since his last match. The commentary did a great job kind of informing people and even saying if Shibata never got injured, there's definitely no LA dojo.
No LA dojo. Yes, he was running it. He was running the dojo. Trained a lot of New Japan Strong.
It makes you think there'll be no Strong either if then the LA dojo doesn't become what it does,
Right. It's true. If he was not retired, like it's kind of messed up. No one wanted him to be forced into retirement, but if he didn't, no one would have been able to lead New Japan Strong and be the head trainer of the LA dojo like as he was.
All right, now we'll be seeing Evil beating Tomohiro Ishii to win the Never Openweight Championships. There was lots of ref bumps and of course House of Torture interfering. There was a lot of shit going on here in this match that maybe people didn't think was going to happen in the New Japan match.
Oh yeah, that's Evil style. If you want, like New Japan is known for no disqualification type. Like they don't do those disqualification finishes. Not a lot of run-ins all the time, or a lot of dirty tactics to achieve victory. Usually, even the people who are considered bad guys in their storyline, usually in their matches, stay within the lines of what's necessary. But Evil is like literally what's his namesake. He does not care at all. Like this House of Torture faction that he's began with Dick Togo, it's very repetitive. I honestly believe if you've seen any Evil match since he joined Dick Togo and joined the Bullet Club, he's really been just taking advantage. Like sometimes it works out, but for usually if he's gonna sometimes it works out and most of the time it doesn't. But usually when he wins a match, he cheats to do it. Dick Togo distracts or, the rest of his faction comes out. Something is gonna happen to where he just hits his finisher and it seems like he won it easily, but we know the guy he was fighting, in this case, Ishii, got screwed. So yeah, Evil does not care.
No, Meltzer never mentions these matches from Japan. You know, he's saying,
Yeah,
one of the
no,
funniest...
people in Japan actually don't like him. Like they hate it when Evil win. Like they can't really emote right now because of the pandemic. They don't really cheer or scream, but they try to clap, and they don't clap during the Evil's. They clap to try to cheer people on. They never clap for anything Evil does.
No, it's funny. There's a commentator went flying sitting behind a table as well by Ishii during it, which made me laugh out loud.
That's also repetitive.
Yeah.
He hates that guy. I don't know why, but poor ring announcer gets killed every Evil match.
And also people thinking Dick Togo. Yes, that is the same Dick Togo all the way back from the Tyneside days with Taka Michinoku and all that. And Cutty Cutty PP was his catchphrase, I would say, back then. Next match, the IWGP Tag Titles, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Versus Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yoshihashi.
The entrance as well was interesting because of no tag team entrance. They came out as singles, which I guess is something that always happens in Japan. And another thing I noticed during this was the red and blue corners, where obviously one opponent is in the red corner and one's in the blue. And that's why you've got the colour there as well. Could always thought it was like messy. And then I realised, Again, this was a really good tag match.
Subtle differences.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very strong. And if you know anything about Yoshihashi, he's one of those guys who's like a perennial jobber for a while. Like, I wouldn't even say jobber, but he never really wins. And he's become a champion, and his confidence has soared. And Yoshihashi and Goto look really, really great as a team. And even though Dangerous Techers, as they're called, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., even though they had a great run and were always a strong tag team champions, Yoshihashi and Goto were the perfect foil on this night. And I'm excited for you and happy for Yoshihashi. When you watch a guy lose like he did for a long time, it's really, really good to finally see things go his way.
Yeah, I mean, the faces were on fire in this. And I forgot Zack Sabre Jr.'s partner sings himself to the ring. So it's all this... you go, oh, yeah.
He's an opera singer. Yes.
Of course.
He's great. I love Taichi, man.
Yeah, the face was on fire as well. Nice to see respect at the end. The next match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, El Desperado defeated Hiroomi Takahashi. And Desperado, I mean, the crowd were in shock with this. This was a huge victory, Monty, wasn't it?
Yes, Hiromu has been the face of the junior division. He was, one of those guys having classic matches with Ospreay. He's just been injured off and on, so you don't really get a chance to see him as much. But you haven't really got a chance to see him consistently. And while he was gone recently, Desperado really stepped up into that next level as a champion. And this match was really important for him because he needed to win this match to prove to everyone that this wasn't just a fluke reign. He really is the face of New Japan Junior Division forward, and it was a really, really fun match. The people were definitely in shock, but at the end of the day, you have to give El Desperado his respect because he's another one of those guys that kind of was a rag to riches story in a division, and I think that's kind of what's going on with Desperado, and it was nice to see him finally get the confirmation that he's been looking for as a champion.
Yeah, about that. Then the main event, Kazuchika Okada defeating Shingo Takagi to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Kazuchika.
35 minutes of this with back and forth, and the whole story is basically trying to bear a hit Rainmaker or not, and Shingo hit one which was busted up Okada's eye, which was crazy, but it wasn't enough. Of course, the Rainmaker ended the Dragon's reign and became the new champion. And I have a go at AEW referees, but Red Shoes started counting to 20, stopped, watched the action, and then went back and restarted the count at one point. So I've got to say, but really good match. The loudest crowd were all night, and I think rightfully so.
Oh, yeah, definitely. One of the strongest matches of the entire Wrestle Kingdom, weekend. I might have been my favorite. I'm not sure, but I really, really enjoyed this match. It was a strong showing by both men. I mean, Shingo, like we said, MVP of New Japan all year last year, and we all know what Kazuchika Okada is all about. He is the face of New Japan. He is the ace currently right now and going forward, and no one has a better championship pedigree than Kazuchika Okada in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he proved it. And that has always been that. Most of the time when Okada loses, it's not because no one kicks out of the Rainmaker. Like, if you let him land that, it's over. It happened to Naito many times. It happened to many opponents before Shingo Takagi, and that's just really it's always a beautiful story to see. Can this guy avoid the Rainmaker like he's done in the past? But he couldn't this time, and rain over every time because the Rainmaker does not play. And that short arm clothesline, it puts people down. And Kazuchika Okada back once again on top of New Japan.
Right. Well, attendance-wise, Night 1 got 12,047. Night 2, 6,379. Night 3, 7,000. Now, normally, New Japan would sell out these shows, but obviously because of where COVID is in Japan at this moment in time, it's a little bit harder to. Move on to Night 2. Well, a match that I actually sat down and quite enjoyed was the first women's match on Wrestle Kingdom main card.
Yes.
Stardom. It was Saya Kamitani and Tam Nakano over Mayu Uitani and the Starlight Kid. I'm actually smug that I actually did that quite well.
You did that really well.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of Japanese women wrestlers. I mean, obviously, Jaxie, we've spoken about Oscar in the past as well and stuff like this. Monty, you know about Io. I don't want to generalize it, but you can see this is kind of the factory that they build them. You know?
Definitely. Joshi style. Stardom is the number one Joshi promotion in Japan. And when I say Joshi, I mean, Japanese female wrestlers. So, and so they exactly. Stardom exactly the top notch. That's where they all of everyone you just named have spent time there and worked there. And, so they make, like you said, that's the factory. That's exactly where all of these, transcendent talents that we see, that it doesn't matter. We see them crossing over to the U.S. and taking over. Stardom is definitely one of those places where a lot of the greats have come from, and currently they are there now. And that's what this was. This is a showcase not only to, American fans, but just New Japan fans in general, and getting more people to put eyes on Stardom because they are some of the best wrestling in the world consistently. And I love this match too. It was very, very strong. I thought everyone got a chance to show what they could do, and it was also very competitive. So this was, I love it, and I'm just so happy that, like I said, how much New Japan is branching out. I don't know if the pandemic has, started making them make some of these decisions, but it really, really is cool to see them working with other Japanese promotions the way they are now.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is you won't be seeing a Phoenix Splash hit like that as beautiful, in the match. You see it go up and go, I wonder what they're going to do. And it's a Phoenix Splash. You go, bloody hell. And also Stardom, well, the commentator say as well, second biggest attendance in Japan, only behind New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is incredible when you think about that as well. We also have other matches, Naito over Cobb, which, again, wasn't too bad. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeating Kenta to win the IWGP US Championship. What a fucking match. So, excuse my language.
Oh, my goodness.
This was,
no, you're right. That's the perfect reaction.
The ladder, Kenta up a ladder, and he's had to set it up properly, but even started kind of joking around with the crowd. And then the kind of bumps, I mean, Kenta's face went straight off the ladder. You can see him busting open. There's a blood smear on the table as well after.
It was shattered. He shattered it.
This is fantastic.
Yes, and this is also, like I said, and I love the story also about this, a backstory, just a small one. Tanahashi, when Kenny Omega brought ladder matches to New Japan and then started doing more extreme stuff, he hated that stuff. He's a pro wrestler. He loved legit, straight up one-on-one New Japan stuff. So watching him, perform in this match and how brutal this match ended up being, and then listening to him post-match and how regretful he was. Kenta even had to tell him, "No, you earned that. Don't show any pity. Like you deserve that victory." Because Tanahashi, I just love the storytelling of that, of the traditionalist having to step out of his comfort zone so he can chase down his title, and how Tanahashi was kind of conflicted about what he had done to Kenta, even though Kenta is the bad guy in this scenario. It was just beautiful. I love this match, like you said, and man, when it happened, I went myself for Kenta because he's one tough bastard for just like finishing that match and continuing on, because man, that spot scared the hell out of me.
Honestly, it was mental. And then the main event of night 2 was Okada defeating Will Ospreay to retain World Championship. Of course, when Ospreay was the champion until he had an injury and got stripped, which he didn't think rightly so, and defended the belts. And we talk about a belt collector. The way Ospreay came out with, of course, the Rev Pro title and a couple others as well was really impressive. But Okada being a man, and these two, and again, when because Dave Meltzer will go on about Japan and go, oh, this is like a 6-star match, whatever it is. This was fantastic. There is no doubt about it. Ospreay, from where he was to like a cruiserweight to battling the biggest star in Japan. And it makes me think, and you know, Ultimate One always talks about long-term booking. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ospreay and Okada again, with Ospreay eventually getting that victory, you know?
I agree. I agree 100%. I think Okada mentioned this when they had a match, even last year at Wrestle Kingdom when it wasn't for the belt. He was like, he said Ospreay will be his rival of the future, and he can just see that, you know, kind of like what Kenny Omega was, you know, a few years ago. Ospreay is now in Okada's mind his main rival, you know, besides like a Naito, of course, who's always been his rival. But yeah, you know, Okada's relationship with Ospreay, like they have a brotherly type bond, and I think even Okada was proud of what him and Ospreay were able to do here. And it's just like they always, I don't know of a bad Ospreay Okada match, even when they were friends and they had like an exhibition match with not an exhibitionist. Oh, it's totally different. Exhibition match with Will Ospreay when he was a junior champion. And Okada was the world champion. They just had a match for the anniversary show a few years back. That was a classic, even when they weren't feuding. So it was even better with the heat added on. And like you said, Ospreay's progression, growing, and he's just, like I said, he hasn't done anything really but get better, in my opinion. It's scary. He is scary good, and he's still young. Scary good and still young. So this is great.
Yeah, I think without doubt, you know, really, really enjoyable stuff. And then third night, and for the first time in events history, Wrestle Kingdom left the Tokyo Dome as it faced Pro Wrestling Noah in a historic event at the Yokohama Arena on January 8th. There was a lot of stuff going on here that I had no clue about, so I just skipped straight to main event.
Me too.
I think it's just, no offense, but sometimes I was like, right. So I went to Okada and Tanahashi versus Kaito, Kimura, and Keiji Muta. And of course,
Keiji Muta, the great Muta.
He's a guy I think is older than he is, because I think he can't possibly. Like, he was around, wrestling Ric Flair and bringing the moonsault to America. You know, early 90s. People had never seen moves like that, and Great Muta was doing it, and spitting the mist and all this kind of great matches with Sting and Flair at Starcades, and to see him still, you know, and connecting with someone like Okada, who's kind of like that guy now. I thought he was really, really. And another story I liked was even better was the let me get his name right, the Kiyomiya, because basically what they were telling me as well, he could never be the man. He couldn't get out of Muta's shadow, even in Noah.
Right.
And you can see he came up short in this match and burst into tears and so upset that he's let everybody down and the company. And I just thought it was a fantastic told story of, I've really felt for him, and even though I'd never seen him before, and I was interested in what his journey would be after, and I think that's when you know a story actually worked well.
I agree, and what I love the most is, you know, that's the biggest difference in my opinion for Japanese wrestling by comparison to the wrestling that we follow in WWE or even in AEW. You know, a lot of, and you know, AEW does this from time to time, but a lot of storytelling in New Japan, they don't have to say a word. It's all body language, like you said, crying and like the emotion. They want you to feel something when you watch them. You don't even have to know, like you said, you don't know guys, any of that, but just watching things and then getting the background from the commentary can do enough for you. So, like, yeah, it was people on this show, like you said, I had no clue about from Noah myself, but it was also a lot of people I came away impressed with. This was kind of like one of those litmus tests. Like, I knew everybody from New Japan, so now I'm just comparing, like, okay, what this guy got to offer, what he got to offer. So I love getting that perspective also of discovering new styles of Japanese wrestling. And like I said, they're really, really good at telling stories without even saying a word, and I love that. I think you see it when, like, Io Shirai and even in Asuka, when they do things, their mannerism, their facial expression, you believe everything they do. That is Japanese pro wrestling to a T.
Well, you know, and it's great saying it, but it's even like someone like Ospreay or Zack Sabre Jr., where you're wrestling someone with different language, and even like Io and Oscar have come over, dealing with language barriers, still be able to kind of, tell the story as it goes on, and like I said, have the real emotion there. And it's something that you do get from Japanese wrestling that you might not get elsewhere. I'd like to apologise for Jaxie and Gina. You must be bored shitless by now. Be fair.
No. We're actually really enjoying this commentary right now. We don't know that much about New Japan, so it's actually really intriguing to us. So please don't think this bores us. Wrestling will never bore us. We just don't have all the time in the world to be able to watch different programs. So I really, really appreciate you guys actually just doing this little bit and updating us on what happened at Wrestle Kingdom, because I admit I didn't get a chance to watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, no, that's excellent. Like I said, we will try and check in on New Japan throughout the years. Could even say, I know Wrestle Kingdom's a big event, and of course you've got the G1 Climax, but in between that, at the moment, New Japan have cancelled all their shows in January because they're still dealing with it, Monty, out there. COVID, obviously we all are. But New Japan are struggling more than anywhere else, really.
Yeah, man, it's been tough, and they've done a lot. They've had a lot of precautions. They're like one of the only shows, not saying WWE or AEW or other promotions don't do it, but they're like one of the only shows that I know had active intermission so they can spray everything down with disinfected. And they've been trying everything they can. Like I said, won't even let their fans cheer or anything like that. And you have to be masked. Like the only way you can show emotion as a fan at their shows when you come to live shows now is clapping. So they've had all types of drawbacks. Like we talked about, people like Jay White and other people who speak, people gaijin, foreigners, not being allowed into the country consistently. So that has hampered them. The fact that New Japan is still going strong the way they have been going, as the way this pandemic is going, just shows you how much the fandom and how much people really, really appreciate them. And they've been doing everything they can to keep it going. So yeah, it really, really sucks to see just how affected they are so far by this pandemic. But, they've been resilient, and hopefully that can continue on as the year, because we've all had to be, resilient at one point or another when it comes to this virus. So, but yeah, it's been rough. It's been really rough.
It has, but we are going to move on now. Of course, we've got the Royal Rumble coming in just a matter of hours, but we're going to have a look at news. Got a few news stories, as we always do. The first one up is Corey Graves. He's been cleared by WWE for a shock in-ring return, of course, due to a neck injury after he was in NXT in 2014. Of course, had to been a commentator now. And, of course, we've seen recent times, well, with Daniel Bryan and Edge be able to come back and wrestle again. And Corey Graves looks like he's going to be fully fit. Gina, do you think this is good news for Corey Graves? Are you happy to see him back?
I mean, I'm excited too, because when I watched a lot of wrestling, I did take a lot of time out, especially when I went off to college and studied. I didn't watch a lot of wrestling, and I didn't really get to know Corey Graves. I only knew Corey Graves as the commentator, never the wrestler, because I never saw him in it. So I'm really excited to see him return and just see what he was like.
Well, when he was an NXT former champion, I mean, like I said, not a bad style. It's been interesting to see where he fits. And, of course, with the Rumble tonight, it could be a perfect reintroduction to him to come back and see what he can actually do, because he is a good talent. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I feel like me and Gina are complete opposites, though, because why is it that even though I was shocked to just hear this, that, he's been cleared, at the same time, I'm a bit gutted if we're going to lose him on commentary. I actually have started to grow. He's started to grow on me on commentary.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, because they can always kind of tease it and have someone beat up Byron Saxton or something like this, and Graves come to the rescue and have him an on and off. It'd be interesting to see.
It would be more Michael Cole that he would come to the aid of. He's always grinning Byron Saxton.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, King and JR, used to be at each other's throats, but we knew they really loved each other. And I like to think the same of Graves and Saxton as well. More news.
I like that idea because of Samoa Joe did that as well when he who was it that was trying to intimidate one of the other announcers, and then Samoa Joe just
he stood up for William Regal.
No, it wasn't. Who was it that Samoa?
I think it was Tom originally. Wasn't it Tom Phillips or somebody? I don't know, something like that.
Oh, it might have been Tom Phillips actually. Yeah. And I think it was against it was either like Bobby Lashley or Brock, one of those two beasts. But Samoa Joe, we thought, oh God, the dream match is going to happen, and then obviously it didn't.
I'm so old. I just go back to the King and Taz at SummerSlam. That's all. I'm sorry. I apologise. I mean, I probably did do podcasts during it, but
that was a really good one there when Taz came to the aid.
JR cut his hand on the sweet jar. Anyway, we're not talking about that. That's SummerSlam. We're talking about WWE. And they're reported planning to hold an Elimination Chamber match in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Yay.
Looks like February 19th. Jaxie, what are your thoughts on the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia?
No. That's my thought. No. I know that they still have these deals going on with Saudi Arabia, but I just feel like every time they have what they're now calling a premium live event, by the way, not a pay-per-view anymore. But every time they do have one in Saudi Arabia, it just really kind of contradicts current storylines that are going on. So for me, it just really feels kind of out of place. So you telling me that Elimination Chamber could be in Saudi Arabia, it doesn't excite me. I'm sorry. And it's not because of the location, but usually because the stories are not canon to what we're getting in current storylines. So I'm not interested.
The crown jewel last year was WWE pay-per-view. There wasn't another one in October. I think I'd much rather have it be the February show than have an Elimination Chamber and a Saudi Arabia event, if you know what I mean.
That's very true. I do agree with that.
I think they're forcing you now. They're like, you think this is not canon? We're gonna make Saudi Arabia shows canon. So they're gonna force you into this, like, because like the same, they kind of built Crown Jewel, like you said last year, as a part of a real show that we need to watch. Because they made actual title matches. Like I think Brock wasn't it Brock and Roman first time last year. So so if that, like, they made you watch by doing it, so they're probably gonna make Roman get into a chamber or something like that to try to make people like, you're gonna watch this Saudi Arabia show whether you want to or not. I know y'all was trying to protest us, but no, you have to watch it.
It'd be interesting to see what they do because, like I said, they've got the deal, so they have to get through it. So maybe this is the best way of dealing with it. And of course, we've got the Royal Rumble tonight, and a lot of legends coming back. People like Lita will be in the Rumble, and people may ask, what's Sunny doing? Will she maybe be in the Royal Rumble? Well, no.
I know what she's doing.
Well, she's trying to kill her partner before being arrested. That's what she's up to. Police said they witnessed Sitch raising a pair of scissors in the air towards the victim while threatening to kill him. She was booked on 2 charges of possessing a weapon for unlawful purpose and 1 charge of terroristic threats and was still in custody. She appeared to be under the influence of drugs and alcohol, but the victim suffered no injuries. 49-year-old has been dealing with these problems numerous times over the past few years.
Long time.
2019, she wrestled for a DWI for the 6th time. I don't know if that's a record, and that came after she served 8 months in jail in 2018. She subsequently served 1 year in prison, was released on parole, and then served another year for violating her parole for getting released in June. Great news, guys. Gina, what are you thinking?
Opposite of great.
Yeah. I think it's pretty embarrassing.
It's but it's tough.
She needs some help, man. That's a long track record. Like at some point you gotta get some help.
Do you not have any shame for what you've been doing and like knowing you're a public figure?
But the thing is it WWE's duty of care, or is it down to the person to take themselves to the mirror and actually get the proper help?
Down to the person.
Down to the person too. Like
she made those choices. She's not been with the company for years. There's no way that this should be like WWE is to blame for this.
I mean, they can reach out. Like that's the only thing I see they can do. And then if she don't, she ignore it or turn it down. Like that's not like what else could they do but reach out?
See, WWE have their own shit going on. They sent Mickie James her shit in a black bag. Like, do you really think that they're gonna?
True. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying if they did, we don't know. Like she could have just turned it down or whatever. Like I'm saying in the past, we know help people. So I'm saying if they could have, the only thing I can see them doing, like the only option they even have, is to reach out. So once she say no, and then she go on and she do what she do, it's not their responsibility anymore. Is what I'm saying.
It's interesting because it's, again, even I laugh, laughing at it, but it is, someone who's, especially when they lose their husband with Chris Candido, we know the problems that Sonny had. You could say she was used maybe by people in WWE during that time, and and the thing with Sable coming along in the arguments. But again, it's the amount of chances that maybe someone gets, and it's just a hard situation. It's horrible to see wrestlers that you really liked as a kid or knew, and seeing what they've kind of become now. I think that's a sad thing.
Definitely, I kind of felt like that when everything was kind of coming out about China. She definitely was one of the women that really changed my way of thinking about how women can be and what they want to be and whether or not they can achieve it. So shortly after her leaving the company, and then you're getting like continuous bad mouth from her about her, it's disheartening,
Yeah. As we got a live show, if I can get my words out, I'm going to do a bit of prep and try and find news stories, to try and get there. And one of the 18th that I found was, I wondered if Zoe Stark could be getting an on-screen family member because WWE filed a trademark for Gunther Stark. Little did I know they were going to try and rename one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. The problem with Gunther Stark is it actually is the name of a captain lieutenant who served in the Kriegsmarine, the navy of Nazi Germany during World War II. Actual U-boat commander that operated in English Channel until he died on June 8th, 1944. So that's a problem. And then you try and rename Walter. Monty, please help me with this.
Here we go again. I tell you all the time. What do they love to do? Specifically when we talk about NXT, they love to just fix something that wasn't even broke. I'm going to tell you something that I'm from the southern United States. This is something that we say around here all the time. His mama named him Walter, so I'm calling that man Walter. So I just want you to know that, if you Google him and see what his government name is, it is Walter. I don't even, again, why did they even need to change it? Don't even get me started on what they changed it to, how he's not even German. Don't even get me started on stuff like that. Just you see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. But I'm not. It's just I mess up sometimes. And I even call Dewdrop. I call her Dewdrop, and I try my best not to because I still want to call her Piper. Why did you change? Why are you break? You don't have to. I don't get it. I don't know why. But whatever. At this point, I'm used to it though. I'm used to it.
Don't forget that too. They tried to make sure AJ a thing.
Who came up with that concept and who accepted it? Seriously,
Vince and Vince.
It's just changing for the sake of change. I don't even get it. I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's Von Wagner. It's Zion Quinn, XYON. They go, what is the stupid names that we could name them? They're going to have a tag team. I'm surprised the Creed brothers aren't called, Bert and Ernie. This is the kind of way we're going about it now. And you go, Gunther. That isn't even if Vince McMahon is going, Gunther, it doesn't have an oomph.
Nope.
I'm just.
I hated Dolph Ziggler at first, but Gunther will not win me over eventually like Dolph Ziggler did. Okay. Just Walter. Come on, man, Walter. It really was. It was nothing wrong with his name. That's my only issue. What do we I understand if it was actually a problem from the beginning. But there's nothing wrong with his name. So why? Can someone give me an explanation for why it even had to change, much less change to Gunther?
Well, the thing is, Finn Balor was they changed my name, but he wasn't wrestling in NXT for 3 years as Fergal Divot and then changed
Exactly. It did change the name. Right. Right.
It's okay, my name's not James. I'm going to call myself Patrick. There's no reason for it, but I just want to be Patrick from now on.
You woke up one morning believing you were a Patrick.
Yeah, I'm born a Patrick.
No, but you got to make it stupid, so it's really Patty. You change your name to Patty.
I'm Paddy, and that's the thing about it, It's so WWE at this moment in time. But we try and move on to a slightly more serious issue, of course, because on January 19th, Jon Moxley returned to AEW for the first time since October 27th, the day before my birthday. And, of course, he was talking about it with the demons and the stuff he suffered. And it was fine by me. I was watching and go, fair play, Mox. Glad to have you back. Apparently, Buddy Ray was just like, hold my beer, because he had a massive problem with it. And I'm thinking,
there's a problem, though.
Yeah. Why the fuck have a problem with it? Like, why say that? Is it just so people like us on the internet will then react to him and he'll get more listens and views?
It's got to be.
That's the only explanation I got.
Yeah.
Well, Paige said there's a reason why everyone prefers Devon, which, again...
Perfect reply, man. It was perfect.
I mean, I'm not even trying to joke about it, but I mean, when the Dudley Boys were definitely an in-thing, Devon was always my favorite. I'm not lying.
Testify. The funniest thing is he owed the fans an apology. Like he don't already entertain us for virtually free for the if you're not at the show. Like he already throws his body on the line for us all the time. So like, what does he have to apologize for at all? Like, especially for anything personally that he was going through. He went through what he had to go through and he returned. We're happy to see him. Like, it's like one of those glass half empty scenarios also. Like, what are you even talking about, Billy Ray? This is like you see something that's completely positive and you find a way to make it negative, and I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, in some ways he does come across as bitter sometimes, doesn't he? Like quite bitter about the company.
Yeah, he's an arsehole.
Or like you said, he just wants us to listen to... Exactly. He's either just an asshole or he wants us to listen to his radio show to get mad at him.
I don't want to do
But either way it goes, he's down an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole. There's no other reason behind saying that. It's just like... Oh, God. Anyway, we'll move back to WWE because WWE President, probably the most liked man, actually, at this moment in time, WWE President and Chief Revenue Officer Nick Khan denied that WWE higher-ups are actually looking to sell the company. They've taken some calls from companies looking to buy, but not an active conversation to sell the company, not actively looking to sell. So expect WWE to be sold by the end of the year. But they're saying... Apparently they want to change things up. I don't know. It's just, I do not believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Jaxie, what do you think about WWE being sold? Do you even care? That's the question we're asking ourselves now, after 100 people being released.
I'm not, this doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think the only thing that is of really significance to me when it comes to the company right now is when are we getting Vince out of power. So that's the only thing I'm kind of interested in listening to. I'm not really...
I think the company will thrive better once Vince is gone.
I'm not really... I don't think that this could be like anything shocking in terms of disappointment. I think that it could only get better if the company is sold.
Well, this is a funny thing when you say that. In my head, I'm getting, and the company we bet run once Vince is dead, but his doofus son-in-law and his stupid daughter's going to take over anyway, mess it up. It's weird how that's 11 years ago now, and it's true. A word never been spoken even today. When it comes to WWE, it's just a complete mess at this moment in time. And one thing, Monty, I've not spoken to you about either, and it hit me hard, was William Regal being released from his WWE contract. It was just...
Yeah.
You fuckers.
Again, like, it just showed you, like, where... I wasn't even shocked. At this point, everything that we think about the black and gold, they wanted to just wipe it clean. We just act like it never happened. So we got to get rid of any relic from the black and gold days that's not Tommaso Ciampa. So, like, everything else, or Pete Dunne, I guess. Like, everybody else got to go. So, I wasn't even surprised. It sucked. Like, the same thing with, hearing Samoa Joe again. But it was just like, at this point, am I really surprised that Joe was getting released? Like, am I really surprised that Regal is gone? Yes, it is horrible. I don't understand it. It's like I don't know how, like, that's why all those rumors are swirling around about Triple H, because it's just hard to even believe that Triple H would not be like, well, so just screw everything I did for the last however many years since 2014, 15. So yeah, it sucked. It really, really sucked to see him go. But again, are we really shocked at this time at all about anything? We're not, like, anybody who walks out of that door, unless their name Roman Reigns, I don't think I'll be shocked anymore.
But I think, like, with William Regal, especially being a fellow UK citizen as well, I took that personally. And Vince, I don't forgive you. I'm just letting them know now. If they're listening, I took that personally, and I don't forgive you. So I just needed to say that.
If I had £1 for every time I heard someone say that to me, you know what? I would be a millionaire right now. And then another bit of news, final bit of news. Mustafa Ali asking for his release. He even tweeted today, do I want to be in a Rumble? No, I want my release.
No.
No, I just want to be released. Jackson, what do you think of Mustafa Ali? Fantastic talent, and he's just had enough.
They really have just lost the plot with Ali. Mustafa Ali has got to be one of the most talented wrestlers out there that has been underutilized in so many different ways. And the amount of talent that I can see coming off of this man without him having been even given the time that to shine in WWE. And when you can already tell the talent of someone that they're not even pushing, that's when you know that company's fucking up. And I'm mad at WWE because they really saw something with him when he first started, and thanks to them bringing their beast back really quickly, he got himself injured very, very quickly, and then that prevented him from kind of taking a more major main spot. Now that is something that can easily be rekindled, but they've never actually picked up the ball with him again, and it's just frustrating as a wrestling fan that sees all the potential in the world to see great matches.
The storylines they wrote for him just were unsuccessful.
Yeah, but it was their way. That was because of their way of booking everything, and so that's where the disappointment lies, because they clearly didn't invest as much as what they first originally did when he first came up to the main roster, and that is what I'm disappointed in, because you know you could even chuck him into a main program now, and I think that he would still shine, and yet they don't even give him like the light of day really to actually showcase what he can do. So it's just pure utter disappointment, and I don't blame him for the tweet that he put out. I actually laughed hard when I saw it, because that would be my exact reaction when I've been burned this bad by a company that I've given my everything to and given all to. So I genuinely hope that Mustafa Ali finds where he wants to be, in which company he wants to be in. And I really hope that he is given the opportunity to show us what he can do, because we all know that is there. It's just letting us see it.
Yeah, excellent point there. So that's it for news. We're going to have a quick look at Impact, because we did talk about Hard to Kill as well being on the schedule. I did £20 to watch this on Fight TV, and boy, I'm glad I did. Not only did it start with the Knockouts Ultimate X match, which was won by Tasha Steelz, which was amazing. It was main evented by Mickie James defeating Dino Prazzo in a Texas Death match. Tables, drawing pins, you name it, they did it. The card from top to bottom, Josh Alexander defeating Jonah, Trey Miguel defeating Steve Macklin, Moose defeating Matt Cardona and Morrissey. Really, really good stuff. And from this, Charlie Haas, believe it or not, made his return to wrestling, as it was. You know, maybe the years haven't been nice. Charlie Haas showed up in Impact, but unfortunately...
I will still remember him and Shelton Benjamin as Team Angle. They were such a badass tag team. We loved them.
Unfortunately, though, he did suffer a concussion and had to be stretchered out during the Impact tapings. But as he said, he's
talking
not,
about highs and lows.
I know. He said he's not dead and hopes to make a comeback as soon as he can. The match with Josh Alexander was actually really, really good until that point in time, which is a bit of a shame. And then, of course, the big news, Mickie James being in the Royal Rumble match. She actually gave a massive interview on Impact addressing the women's division and saying she was going to make history at the Rumble and then go to WrestleMania and put her title on the line against the WWE superstar. Yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, they're going to let that happen, yeah.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that one.
If she lasts like a minute tonight, I'll be, you know what I mean? I just know they're going to embarrass her or do something.
Yeah, the weakest Impact champion ever.
No, do you know what it is? It's because of like WWE don't really want to do this, but they're having to do this because guess what? They fired everyone. So they need to actually bring...
Yeah, they need the bodies. They need the bodies.
They do. They do. And I mean, you know, I will always like kind of be a fan of Mickie James as a wrestler. But I think this is the stupidest decision she's ever made.
Yeah,
like they packed your shit in a fucking black bag and sent it to you when they fired you. How the fuck?
Maybe they assured her or something, right?
You going back there? At least the inspiration had sense to actually turn that down. I'm sorry,
they had to assure her or something, right? Like. If you really think about it, like, did they promise her like a spot with Charlotte or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, what could they even offer up that made that pitch, work for her other than like the spotlight of, just doing it, I guess, or like the headlines. I don't even know what it could, like, what they could have offered.
We'll send your shit back to you in a nicer bag. That
right. Louis Vuitton or Gucci.
And you leave your job and you tell them, can I bring back my uniform? And they say, keep it. That's literally what that is. Like, keep the uniform. Why am I going to keep the uniform that you just sacked me from?
Yeah. I mean, I just think, it's got to be all about the money.
Definitely.
Because that is the only reason why I can think that Mickie James would actually, like, I can like say that she's just as proud as I am as a woman.
You got to pay my tab.
Like, there's a certain level of pride and humility you've got to have to go back to the place that scorned you, and you called them out for scorning you the way that they did. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how much time she's given tonight.
It is going to be interesting, and like I said, we're going to run through the card and talk about all our predictions in a little bit. Before that, we're just going to look at Raw and SmackDown since day one, and we start off with SmackDown the 7th of January with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman together. But of course, Roman Reigns, who missed day one, was on the show, and he said, when you're in isolation, you do a lot of thinking. He said, the two people I never want to see again are Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, and almost on cue, Lesnar and Heyman interrupted during a huge ovation. Lesnar wasted little time for the challenge for a title versus title match, to which Reigns declined. He said he won't do business with someone who does business with trash like Paul Heyman. Heyman still talking about his ass a beast, not talk to Reigns like he was. That allowed the Tribal Chief to rock his roll with a Superman punch for taking off the ramp. Monty, this was some good shit going on here.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. Like I said, they don't really miss with the Roman stuff. I don't know if it's just like a completely different creative team than what they use for like some of the other shows, but like, yeah, they knocked this out of the park. The chemistry there between everybody involved is there. The intensity is just perfect. Roman's character work was just top notch once again, and I chuckled a lot during this scene also. So yeah, I thought this was a very, very strong part of the show. And like I said, they just rarely don't miss when they rarely miss. They rarely mess up when it comes to anything Roman is doing.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. We see SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair announcing that she will be in this year's Women's Royal Rumble. I heard Jaxie cheering at home at that point. We also get Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins, Lita, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Mickie James, all in the Rumble match. Jaxie, were you surprised they announced all these without any surprises and the actual Rumble event, if you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, I was pretty shocked at how many names they genuinely gave us. And my first initial reaction when they were like kind of naming them all off, I was like, oh, damn, WWE are really desperate to get us to watch this, aren't they? They're giving everything away. So, I mean, I can't hide my disappointment, but I also feel like there are quite a few names that were definitely left off, which I'm hoping was left off specifically for the surprise reason. So we'll see.
Well, without doubt. And then the main event was Usos versus New Day, with the Usos winning and going full Dudleys, but fuck Bubba. After the match, Roman Reigns was watching from his locker room when Alan Pierce's opponent entered, Seth Rollins, and the Revolution. He laughed hysterically as the show went off the air. The Seth knocking on the door to the Shield theme was a really, really nice touch as well. Should we just unify the titles and go back to the old days of one champion?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be better to do that, just because right now WWE don't know whether they're trying to keep the shows separate or integrate the shows. And right now we're getting a bit of a back and forth. We're getting them separated with separate storylines, and then once a big pay-per-view is coming up, or what is it called? Sorry, not pay-per-view.
Premium live event. Premium live event.
When we get a big premium live event upcoming, they start to merge the shows together and merge storylines so that they can, obviously integrate some characters that used to be together that will help with the storyline. I think they need to just merge them again and just make the one championship as well, because to be honest, with all the cuts that they've been making at the moment, they can only do that really, and just integrate both shows to just fill out that time.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense than anything else at this moment. Like I said, especially with the rosters as well. The tag team division, the IFC and US titles that don't even bother getting defended that much anymore either, So it'd be interesting to see what they do.
It's still a thing. Wow.
So, to Raw, January 10th. And it opened with Lesnar and Paul Heyman making their way to the ring with MVP and Lashley watching from the back. Alexander and Benjamin walked up, and Lashley told them there was no hurt business. So they've killed that twice in a year. Back in the ring, the Beast looked excited to be back in Philadelphia, but Lashley's music wiped away his smile. He had a tense exchange that includes some jokes from Lesnar and some threats from Bobby. The Beast called the almighty Brock Lesnar wannabe before leaving the ring, and then Lashley smashed Alexander just to make sure that no one cares about them. Monty, what did you think of this?
Yeah, I like this. It's about time. Like it was about time that Brock Lesnar and Bobby, met up. And if you know anything about, if you've been following Bobby a while, he's been asking if we won this match for a very, very long time. So I'm happy that they are working together. Brock Lesnar's attitude towards Bobby was, surprising at first. It's funny to me. He said Brock Lesnar want to be there. Like, I guess Brock Lesnar has muscles copyrighted or wrestling background, and he got MMA. All of that is copyrighted. You can't do that, or you're Brock Lesnar. But anyway, besides that, I thought this was cool, and like he kind of disrespected Bobby, so it just kind of made me feel like, okay, there's no way, unless they're just gonna completely make Bobby look like a chump, there's no way he's gonna keep being able to just disrespect Bobby like that. So yeah, I didn't mind it, and I'm just happy that it's finally happening. But yeah, this was a strong introduction to what was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm desperate for Bobby to win. He's been waiting for this match through his career.
Yes.
This should be more sports build. I found the build up for this was really weird. They should have gone like SummerSlam 02 with Rock and Brock, with them just like in the gyms and just working out. And you see, even MMA trainers just trying to, work out how they're going to get the best of each other rather than what they did. But anyway, elsewhere, Otis pinned Orton clean with the Alpha Academy of Arcade Bro. Street Profits and Priest beat Dirty Dogs and Apollo. Rollins beat Big E. Know your role, Big E, all right? Rollins is the star now, not you anymore.
It hurt my heart.
Yeah, I know. Ripley and Nikki broke up. And we had the main event. Doudrop beat Morgan and Blair to face Lynch for the title, with Lynch stopping Belair and letting Doudrop getting the win, Doudrop winning. What do we think of this, Jaxie, with Liv getting treated Meg from Family Guy and them setting up a potential match? Shut up, Meg. And we're setting up a match between Blair and Lynch.
I mean, everyone knows my sort of thoughts and views on like kind of how Becky Lynch took the title from Bianca. So I knew that eventually we were going to get to a stage where this is going to be potentially the feud of the year, maybe like a feud that we'd get towards WrestleMania. It's really difficult because WWE know how to book their women, right? but WWE know how to book the women that they like. So it's really frustrating because I actually knew of Doudrop, who was Piper Niven when I knew her, and I think that she's got a lot of talent. It's still extremely upsetting to then see, even how she's being booked, and then you up the whole Liv Morgan situation. And it's just frustrating because you can see all the potential in the world with someone, and then it's the way that they're booked. They're booked so wrong, and it doesn't have to be that everyone gets the push right there and then when they get the hype from the fans. But at the same time, it's all about building up your women so that you do eventually have some actual contenders that fans can really question who's going to come out as the ultimate winner here. Right now, we literally have Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair that WWE just can't seem to crawl much farther up their asses. So it's disheartening to see any other woman really in the picture, because right now I just feel like I'm losing faith in thinking, well, they've got a potential chance,
It'll be interesting to see what they do, and this is the problem with WWE. They go back to the same old. One of these is kind of, even with the fact of Brock Lesnar as WWE champion, because it was 19 years, 4 months and 7 days from when he first claimed the title, and it now has become the biggest stretch in between the wrestler winning his first one and winning his last. The last one being Hulk Hogan, and even Phoenix and Maurice at the Rumble, they haven't technically made history yet, but if they are booked to step inside, of course they are, it'll be more than a 10-year break from when they last faced off as well. So it just seems like it's just repeating, which can get a bit frustrating. We're coming up to WrestleMania. We've got Brock Lesnar as WWE champion, Roman Reigns as Universal, Charlotte and Lynch, like I said, as the women's champion. Is there much difference from the previous 4 or 5 years from that? Not really,
They go with the safe option, man. They go with the safe option. They have trust issues with everybody, with any other newer names. They just have trust issues, and it shows in the decisions that they make. Like you said, all the way down throughout the entire roster. And they don't even feel the need to even try to build much of a mid card, which is also a big issue. Like even the women's mid card and the men's mid card, they have no build there most of the time. So it's like, how do you make new contenders if the mid card literally has no activity? So like they used to use their mid card to make new stars. Now they don't do that.
Exactly.
So
what I mean about them not continuously looking to book all of their women to a point where they're continuously building on them. Instead, we kind of can already sort of presume the outcome for the specific fact that there's a certain way of WWE booking those that they favor.
Yeah, so it's a real shame that they keep doing it, But again, like I said, there's a fear of going with the unknown and it not working out. And go, but what's the harm? I don't understand. If Bobby Lashley, I know we're not going to talk about prediction yet, but if Lashley beat Lesnar tonight, that could set up another year or two of rivalry between both of those, and it would make such a bigger star than he was right now. But you just know that they're not going to do it because it's like, oh no, just give Brock it and we'll just move on. And sometimes you just think, what is their problem with it? But like I said, we'll get on to that in a little bit. Move on, January 14th, SmackDown, the Usos present their tag #1 contender match with the Raiders beating Los Lotharios, Cesaro, Mansoor, just chucked together, and Shanks and Mahal. We see Sami Zayn just paying what. He says, when it comes to being a jackass, no one is better than Sami Zayn. He is right about Zayn. It's just class. And Natalya referenced her 3 records in the Guinness Book of World Records ahead of a match. Oh, what would happen here with a liar, or as she, as I know her better, Nymph. And of course, Nymph here got the world record, 3.17 seconds. I mean, you can see it coming a mile off, but well done, Nymph. Monty, what were your thoughts on this world record time?
Honestly, I could care less. Really, it happened. I ain't gonna lie. The fans actually like Aaliyah, so I do give her. I don't know what it is, but like they kind of, I've seen them kind of cheer, give her a pop when she's out there, and like even like when she had the infamous, throwing up after the match thing going on. By the way, is that her gimmick? Because like she's really nervous and extra, like, you know what I mean? Like they seem like they're trying to incorporate. Ooh, I hope I think one time she's like, ooh, I hope I don't gag again. I'm like, what? Like, is this gonna be part of your gimmick now, Aaliyah? No. Like, I understand I didn't know much about you anyway, but I don't want nobody gimmick to be throwing. Are we going back into my guy who D'Lo Brown retired him, but he used puke. He used to puke all the time. Forgot him. Forgot his name. But I hope we're not doing that again, please. Draws. Yeah, draws. Yeah, please do not. Please do not tell me we're going to a draw throw.
He's gonna puke.
Please don't tell me we're going back to that. But I that's what caught my eye more so than her breaking the record. Because it's just like, are they really about to start hinting that she's nervous and ready to throw up every time she does something now? It's funny. But yeah, congratulations.
Well, no, yeah, she is in the Guinness Book of Records. And another thing that freaked me out on SmackDown was they treated Lita like an actual legend rather than, what they did at Survivor Series when she originally left. It's one of those special times. Yes. She came out, had the face-off with Charlotte, had a massive cheer as well and a great response, and was left standing tall. Really good to see, because normally it's, like I said, people like Edge and others that get that, and they actually gave it to Lita, which, fair play to them.
Yeah, definitely. I actually have to say, and this is just, putting my feelings for Charlotte aside and just kind of looking at the promo as to what it was just a really good way to alleviate someone of Lita's status, especially with how they have treated her in the past. So it was just quite nice to actually see a smug Charlotte get her ass handed to her by a legend. I think it was needed. I'd like to see that again.
So we're going to make a joke. You said Lita's status, and I'll go, no, it's Trish Stratus. That's.
Oh my gosh, you should have done that. I could have been like, hey.
So then we get Seth Rollins starting at staring in his face-to-face. Of course, the Universal Champ Roman Reigns. Reminded me he's got a one-sided record between them when a title is at stake. Reigns laughed off, said he's in God mode and he's ahead of Rollins' table. Without Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins is just fine. I was climbing up my way to the ladder when you were riding a pine in the CFL division. He said he claimed Reigns needed a bloodline while Rollins was off winning titles on his own. I created you and I can destroy you. No one could have said whilst laughing. Reigns said if he's looking for a megastar from Raw, he would have chosen Rollins' wife. And the Usos attempted a sneak attack, but Rollins managed to get out there and said, I'm living rent-free in your head, Roman, to close out the show. Gina, what did you think of the first face-to-face between Rollins and Reigns?
I mean, it was nice nostalgia for sure, especially just seeing them both in the ring again together. And you do, with all the promos that they had for the Shields, sort of over the past two Raws especially, it was nice to have that and see them kind of getting to this storyline, because we knew at some point we would get Roman versus Seth, but it did seem like it was a way off again. So yeah, I was really happy to see them in the ring together. I still am disappointed with the way that WWE booked the Usos. If they want the bloodline to be coming across as strong as they are, they sure do like to make the Usos look weak, even though they're the tag champions. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't exactly expecting them to overpower Seth and make Seth look weak ahead of this match with Roman. But it just made the Usos look really weak as well. I don't know. I just don't like the way that they're booking the Usos. If they wanted Roman to be like, Big Daddy Chief, I think that they should be booking the Usos to be on this ultimate winning streak, a bit like Undisputed era. They were just unbeatable, and they all just kind of represented for their team. But they're not doing that with the Usos. It's just making them look really weak. So that's the only thing that I would say is the downfall. I am really excited to see Roman versus Seth again, and they both carry their promos well. So I really feel like the storyline between them,
Yeah, no, that's really, really good stuff. And like I said, we've got better promos for the two coming up. We first go to Raw January 17th. Doudrop and Lynch beat Morgan and Blair after, of course, the obligated promo to start. Doudrop looking good. KO show with Rollins. I said about a month ago I want these two together, and these are great stuff. This led to Damien versus Owens, with KO faking leg injury, hitting the stunner for the pin. And this is the first man to beat since his move to the main roster. Now, Monty, I know you're a huge fan of Priest. Did you think he would have as good a first year as he did?
Oh, I mean, I thought so, just because I felt like they would be insane to miss it. Like, he's money, like, you know what I mean? He's big. He's I like to point out that he's bilingual, because I never forget them releasing a lot of Latin superstars and saying they want to go to the Latin market. But so like Priest is money, and I knew it before he was even in WWE. So like, yeah, I thought they would get it, but you never really know. I mean, it's a crapshoot with WWE, and I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? That they haven't really dropped the ball yet, and even this loss to Kevin Owens, he doesn't look weak here, losing by being manipulated the way he was by Kevin here. And then it's Kevin, so I don't mind it. You know, no one. You know, we're not trying to do a Goldberg here. Not going to be unpinned and or undefeated forever. You know, at least it wasn't a DQ finish again, because that's pretty much the only thing I don't like that they've been doing with him, is this whole he goes so crazy that he loses his brain and forgets that this is a match.
And his nostrils. Have you noticed his nostrils?
Yes, he got to flare his
nostrils. What the hell is
because that shows you that he's very angry. Flare his nostrils, because that's how you know he's very angry. It's like a bull. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, like the cartoon bull. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Looney Tunes. But yeah. I love Priest, and I didn't mind him losing here. And like, yeah, I'm very happy that, like you said, they've been taking their time. And I think this year will be a very big year. Where he is by the end of this year will really show me if they really, if they're ready to pull the trigger and actually believe in him going forward for like bigger stakes and bigger matches, bigger moments. But I think he's money. I always have.
Yeah, without a doubt. We see Gable and Notice have a celebration. Good for them. RK Bro ruined it. Speaking of ruined, Finn Balor got destroyed by McMahon expired Austin Theory. Omos killed Reggie. There's enough of that as well. We see Maurice wanted out of a match with Beth, but it was all a setup. She gave her a brick. And the main event, Bobby versus Rollins, but of course they paid themselves in the corner, so it ended in a DQ with the Usos taking out Rollins. And then SmackDown January 21st, Reigns and Rollins promo to start after the Usos introductions. Reigns asked, "Did John Cena write that promo for you?" Which was a great line. And then Rollins pitched an idea where the Usos versus Rollins and Kevin Owens for tonight. If Owens and Rollins win, the Usos would not be able to interfere at the Royal Rumble, with Jimmy shouting, "You're on." Jimmy was having fun. At one point, he even forgot there was a ring. He was looking in the crowd. He forgot to give Roman his mic. And he's enjoying himself. Fair play. You know, not many people. So we then see Kofi with Big E, because, fuck the draft. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't
Who
care
cares,
you're Raw. Like, come on.
Screw it, we need ratings.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? Nymph defeated Natalia by DQ. Zia Lee showed up. Remember her? She was on about 2 months ago. Yeah.
Avenger.
That was such a weak save. She took her a sweet ass time coming out, did her little fancy tricks out of the ring. Natalia could have left time ago, but before she even got to the ring, if you're gonna come out and save someone,
then you should be running down that damn ramp.
Exactly.
Now you know WWE rules. You just gotta watch someone enter when they're coming. You have to watch the entrance, okay? You have to experience it.
That is the new rule.
It's an imaginary barrier there that keeps them in the ring.
The thing is, this does scare me though, because right now, first of all, let me just say, they booked Xia Li so well when they were giving all of her stories in anime depiction to us. It was very Kill Bill. I enjoyed it, right? And I thought, okay, let's see what they do with it. Right now, I'm scared.
I knew they didn't know what the hell they was doing. I'm sorry. It was creative. I just did not believe in them at all.
who comes for the save and then stands outside and does like a whole martial arts set, which looks incredible. But girl, you ain't got time for this. If Mans is being beaten up in the ring, get in the ring and actually save her.
It's all about timing.
Save her. What you doing?
Someone run out with a firework and try and distract the person from the attack. Go, look at me, like, rather than kind of run out and helping, just like, I'm a distraction. Anyway, we see Sonya Deville screw Nomi in a match with Charlotte and Adam
Pearce. For the
billionth
time.
Yeah, and Adam Pearce with Eric Bischoff for some reason. I don't know why.
Why?
Maybe it's his uncle.
Whatsoever. No explanation at all.
No, just
make that money, EB.
Yeah, it's a little pick-me-up speech. Nomi versus Deville for next week. We see Ridge returning with Sheamus beating Ricochet. Double J was backstage for no reason whatsoever as well.
Oh, yeah. Why?
Talk to Rick Boogs. Knoxville and Zayn shenanigans, but at least both are making good money from the Rumble. And then the main event, Usos versus Rollins and Owens. Just when it looked like Rollins was going to hit the stomp, Reigns come out and hit the Superman punch, calling disqualification.
Another DQ.
Yes, both staring at them as they put the title on the line in the upcoming Premium Live event, which rolls off the tongue. Really
you
good
know,
match,
he could have
though.
still got Superman punched without a DQ. You know that, right?
Don't be silly, because then we would have had.
You would have got the same result.
Yeah. Well,
you can't tell me you're trying to protect your tag champions all of a sudden.
Well, we're going to go to the Raw Go Home show, January 24th, and it opened with an official weigh-in for the WWE Championship. Lashley out first, followed by Lesnar. After each man stepped on the scale, the managers talked some trash. The Beast left without incident while Lashley looked on. It's Cowboy Brock. I want Bobby to win so bad. But I will say this, because Twitter was saying, WWE doesn't have weight classes. Why do this? But if you had a contract signing, people would have gone, why another contract signing? So I guess sometimes you can't win. But why, Jaxie, is Brock Lesnar disrespecting Bobby Lashley when Bobby Lashley could tear him apart?
Honestly, I don't know, but I feel like this is the ultimate moment to kind of have one of those storylines where Brock genuinely goes into this match believing
overconfident,
like he did with Eddie.
He gets a fucking lesson taught to him, so that he knows that there is someone much more dominant than him, and it's not always to be him on top. So this would be an epic storytelling if they kind of book it like this. But
I'm gonna be so hurt if they don't. Oh my goodness.
Oh, don't, Monty. We haven't got there yet, so I'm not gonna dive deep into this conversation right now about Bobby v Brock. But me and you are on the same vibes there, so don't worry.
We've got all that disappointment to come. That's something to look forward to. WWE,
right?
We got all that to moan about. We see Orton beat Gable after a spelling bee. Yeah, that's right. But Gable and Orton actually really over. AJ beat Theory in a near 20-minute match. They're calling AJ a veteran on commentary, and of course they're test running Austin, see if he can go 20-minute matches against good talents. We had a good sit down between Lynch and Doudrop. This is what big time Bex is best at, not selling or wrestling, talking like this and talking up the match. And Doudrop saying, "I ain't gonna take that," and beating her up a little bit. The Mysterios.
I loved it.
How happy must Ray and Dominic be that 2K is coming out? Because they're finally going to get wins. You know, it's the only reason the Mysterios beat the Profits is because Ray's the cover star. But fair play to him, you know. And then the main event.
This is Ray. It's a legend, man.
The main event of the evening was not a match. It was Miz throwing Marisa birthday party to hype their match at the Rumble. First off, it was a portrait of them as a princess and a prince. The second gift was a bejeweled box. She said she wanted to open a big gift. Miz said he didn't get that one. And who was in it? But we revealed to be a brick. And Edge and Phoenix came out looking pissed. And they took out the security team. And when I say they took out the security team, they did a fantastic job beating the shit out of them. That was great.
You know what? I can't remember if it was Adam Copeland or Beth Phoenix that actually shared a picture on Instagram of them beating up the security guards. And
they actually captioned it as if it was like speaking from one of their daughters and being like, "Oh, Mum, Dad, I wanted to introduce you to," and then like ... and it
Yeah, I think that was Bill.
beating the holy hell out of them. And I was just like, Lord help the men that try to date their kids, because it's not even just Edge you have to contend with. Like, don't fuck with Beth Phoenix. Like, you know, I like to think I'm a badass bitch at times, right? But I will never ever look up to Beth Phoenix and think that I'm a badass bitch. Yeah. know your place. Know your top of your place in the food chain. Beth Phoenix is a goddess. She's on top. Don't fuck with her.
And we got another 3D. Fuck Bully Ray.
Exactly. That's why they did it.
Probably, yeah. Could be.
Complain about this. Complain about that. Go on. Let's see what happens. And then finally, the January 28th SmackDown with Charlotte Flair kicking off a night show. And I don't know, Jackson, it's because we're doing so many podcasts together. But when Charlotte's talking, I just go blah, 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 blah. Like, that's all I hear now. It's the same.
Same old stuff.
And that's not, you know, it's just...
It's the same shit she's spewing. It's like, yes, okay, Charlotte, we heard this from you already.
I love that bodysuit though. It was nice. She got the bodysuit. She be killing them bodysuits.
Yeah, but
I give her that.
Drinking game every time she takes the heels off. Like, come on, wear like a wrestling appropriate
of course.
Boots.
Why are you wearing heels in the first place? You are
somebody took a big boot straight, like a foot, right to the face. I don't know who it was. They took it. Was it Natty or somebody took it right to a boot?
I think it was Nymph. Might be
to the face. Yeah, Aaliyah. Yeah, Aaliyah took a foot right to the face. But soul.
I don't see the point. Like, I do see the point, because when Charlotte Flair comes out in the jumpsuit and she's also got the heels on and she's looking sexy,
yeah.
I get it. It completes the whole outfit. But girl, you're walking to the ring. You're either going to get interrupted by someone or someone's going to jump you. So why are you wearing heels to the ring? Like, honestly, it's pointless. We're just going to see you take them off, or they're going to get chucked off.
Sasha caught her foot and was like, I think her feet was like motioning that her feet stunk. So that was hilarious. I like that.
The only thing that annoys me as much as that is like, I'll pick out Andrade. It's someone with an entrance attire that takes it off straight away. So he comes out and straight away the entrance. What's the point of having the entrance attire if you're just going to take one step and then at least get to the ring first, you know? But anyway, I'm taking my frustrations on Charlotte out of Andrade, and I really shouldn't. She talked.
I'm a bad influence on you, James.
Honestly, I used to love her. We see Baszler interrupting the proceedings, coming face to face with the Queen, vowing to slap her like a twig. Like we said, we see Nymph getting involved with Shotzi, Natalya, all arguing until Banks makes a return. She says, "The boss is back, baby. I'm ready to rumble," and Chuck Flair to the outside. I'm going to ask you guys, Sasha Banks as a surprise in the Rumble would have been a huge reaction. Why did they do it on
I don't know
SmackDown?
why they did this.
Why?
I have no idea why they brought that on SmackDown. It was actually quite disappointing. I actually felt extremely gutted the minute I heard her music drop, because I was literally just thinking to myself, we are 24 hours away. 24 hours away. Why did she
have anything
on SmackDown?
They've already revealed so many people in the.
It was right. Yeah, that was frustrating.
Another frustrating for people was the new theme for Baszler, and of course,
it was horrible.
Oh my god, I am so upset. Damn you, Vince McMahon. Damn you, all creative that decided.
Oh, Jim Johnston, where are you?
The original track was so sick. Why the fuck change it?
Oh god.
CFO $.
Okay, unbelievable. Well, we move on, and up next it was Ridge Holland versus the mask he wore in the tag match that he seemed to struggle with, but in the end he managed to beat the mask into submission and finally move on. We then see Nomi versus Deville, and this is 173 days. 173 days, I think Nomi said. I'm not 100% sure. But
Yep, that's right. 153.
Nomi delivered a Bubba Bomb because, fuck Bully Ray. And then she's saying delivered a rear view.
Yes.
out of the split-legged moonsault for the pinfall victory. Deville expressed her anger and said she would be in a Royal Rumble match. But Deville's first match at SummerSlam 2 years ago, fans maybe weren't into it as much as they could have been a couple of months ago. But a good match. And Jackson Nomi finally gets a vindication. Are you happy about it now?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely happy. I think Naomi needed to win that match. I think even though it was Sonya's first match back, she had still been in the company and prominent, because she was the GM. So I definitely feel like it was right that they let Naomi win that match. I had a feeling that Sonya was going to be in the Royal Rumble as well, but I don't really see how that's relevant to like a comeback to Naomi. Naomi still got the win over her, so either way, I'm still happy about the outcome of the match and the fact that Sonya's going to be in the Royal Rumble as well.
Yeah, no, it should be fun to see. Yeah. Like I said, wasn't too bad what was going on. Just WWE again waiting too long. It's like champions, Nakamura not defending the title. It's all he's been champion 6 months. He's defended it once. How is he champion? Like, I could be champion if that was the rules. Just give me the belt, and then I won't defend it, and then I'll have a really nice long reign. But one of the
I don't know how true this is, but I heard he may be injured.
Do you think we're stupid sometimes and think, oh, we haven't mentioned the IC title in a while. Let's just
Not
forget it, as if we'll forget.
Well, if Nakamura may be injured, but it's like the Viking Raiders were number contenders first episode of the year, and it should be at the just going, no, wait. It's like saying number contender Nakamura, Owens and Priest. Yeah. We'll get that eventually when they can be bothered. It's just these are the big matches.
That the Viking Raiders are entering the Royal Rumble. So, okay.
I just never got it. But I'll tell you someone who is enjoying themselves at this moment in time. It is Sami Zayn. Of course, recently signed a new contract, and fair play to him. He deserves all the money in the world to try and make this Johnny thing entertaining. He's got his new podcast, so if he's into podcasts, he wants to be on one, of course we'll let him on the WNR podcast. Rick Boogs, of course, interrupted with Nakamura, leading to a tag match where the faces beat the heels. And then we had New Day, Big E and Kofi defeating Corbin and Moss. And then finally, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns had their final face-to-face. Rollins brought up the beating Reigns before, including them sending him packing for a 30-day vacay. Of course, beating them at Money in the Bank 2016 for the WWE Championship, the violation policy that Reigns had to take off after that. And what many people might forget is Dean Ambrose cashed in that very night on Seth Rollins as well to become WWE Champion. So the Shield really was there. And I think everybody got emotional during this because it was Seth Rollins being an absolute twat and talking about the chair to the back and getting under Roman. And you can see Roman there, not fight back the tears as such, but saying he will never forgive him for what he did.
He was struggling with it.
Yeah, for what he did to us. And at that point, I'm going, Roman, but Roman trying for the Superman punch. Rollins evaded and bowed to the floor, and a Joker-esque Rollins was seen laughing maniacally as Reigns.
The suit was perfect.
A suit perfect. And Roman Reigns, again, like Batman, maybe not the hero we need, looking on there. I thought this was... Well, I'm going to say it. This was world class. The two biggest stars of their generation in WWE by what the fans think and what WWE management think. This doesn't get bigger or better than this. And I said, Roman...
I love that you mentioned like a Batman reference, especially with Seth Rollins' outfit. It was very Joker-esque.
Yes.
This was fantastic. Who didn't enjoy this? Gina, did you not enjoy this? Because you can get off the show. Do you know what I'm saying? If you didn't enjoy it.
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it when we had Seth and Roman face off for the first time. So when they came together again on SmackDown, it just felt nice because they had the history there to talk about. They're both great at delivering promos. You just really got yourself invested into the story. So it's just made you really look forward to not only the Royal Rumble match, but this match.
I have to say, is Seth's laugh. It's become so iconic. It's like, when you were a kid and you were just kind of like really fascinated with like Disney movies and stuff like that, and the evil witch's cackle or laugh would terrify you. That's what Seth's laugh is becoming, you know, but in a good kind of comical way, because he's so full of himself that like, you genuinely start to believe him, and then you hear that laugh, and that laugh really can actually get in your head, and that is exactly what in Roman. Like you could see stuff get into him, and that laugh just accentuates and adds to it. It's brilliant.
Right,
and then when he said your whole bloodline was trash, and your father, oh my God, your mother, your father, your cousin, like, oh my goodness, I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was, I don't know why I'm just toxic like that, and that was just like so real. It was affecting Roman. Like he's the first person. Not even Brock Lesnar affected Roman Reigns like that. I loved it.
This was what's great about it. Yeah, it's Rollins being like on SmackDown.
Especially when Roman was the one who was like, if I wanted to face a champion, I'd face your wife.
Well, yeah, and he's like under his skin, and it seems Rollins went to Raw in the draft, kind of charged himself back up, and now it's come, and we've gone, no one's been on Reigns' level, and Rollins is there, and it's like, yeah, he is actually. Like, this could go either way, and I think with the Rumble tonight, what's exciting, so exciting, especially when we get to predictions, is that it is an open field. It could go either way, and there's not many events you can say that with.
100%. This is the most, like, I have no clue either Royal Rumble match going into it. I may have people I think should win or maybe, you know, could be in a good position, but I have no clue. And I think except maybe the Miz match, even that match I guess could go either way, but I doubt it. But this whole entire card, like you said, you know, for the most part, is strong enough to be like, yeah, I'm not sure where we're going either, like on either side. Bobby and Brock, Roman and Seth, like, yeah, this is a special feeling card right here.
It's unbelievable, and we're just about to get onto it. We're going to do now, like we've talked about, the Rumble mini games, and of course the predictions. But first, and this is one of my favourite things, is the Royal Rumble, because it's all about the numbers.
The Royal Rumble match.
This is what we've all been waiting for.
30 men and 30 women battling for the ultimate prize, a championship opportunity in the main event at WrestleMania. WWE Hall of Famer Pat Patterson's vision in 1988 created a legacy of some of the most iconic moments in sports entertainment history.
Drew McIntyre's going to WrestleMania. Hulk Hogan and the Warrior, one-on-one. AJ Styles is here.
Finally, The Rock is going to WrestleMania.
You think you know me?
You gotta be kidding me. It's been 9 long years. Edge is back.
Since its inception, there have been 1,190 entrants into the Royal Rumble match. But only 31 individuals can say they've won.
John Cena, Batista, Becky Lynch, Triple H, Undertaker.
This incredibly rare achievement has propelled 19 superstars to win a world championship at WrestleMania, including 5 of the last 6 Rumble winners. While victory at an early number is improbable, it's not impossible.
Wait a minute! 1 foot! Shawn Michaels has won the Royal Rumble!
And last year, Edge entered at number 1.
Over 58 minutes in this match.
And won it all. But not everyone can survive.
What did he land? 1 second! No redos, Santino!
Some struggle to even get in the ring.
Oh my God, what the heck? What did Titus just... I can't believe what I just saw!
While others defy the laws of physics to avoid elimination.
What a move! Kingston's a Rumble highlight reel!
Speaking of highlight reels, Kane has competed in a record 18 Rumble matches where the Big Red Machine decimated his opponents with a record 45 total eliminations. But no one conquered a single Rumble quite like Brock Lesnar, who accumulated a record 13 eliminations in one match. And to make this even more of an unfathomable achievement, the Beast vanquished these 13 superstars consecutively. This year, the 35th annual Royal Rumble event will be unlike any other, featuring a lineup of Royal Rumble All-Stars. The 2022 edition is emanating live from St. Louis, Missouri, the same city where Sheamus won the Royal Rumble in 2012. In 2006, Rey Mysterio set the endurance record in a traditional 30-man Royal Rumble match, surviving 62 minutes, 12 seconds to claim a victory. Last year, Bianca Belair spent the longest time in the Women's Royal Rumble match, lasting a record-breaking 57 minutes and 12 seconds to win it all. Will the EST win her second straight Rumble? If she does, she'll join Hall of Famers Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin as the only back-to-back Royal Rumble winners. A feat that hasn't been accomplished in 24 years. 8 superstars have won the Royal Rumble twice, but only one man has won 3 times.
Oh, hell yeah!
There's no telling what will happen at this year's Royal Rumble event, as the competition contains more variety than ever. With 60 superstars, including 21 former world champions, 5 former Royal Rumble match winners, 3 WWE Hall of Famers, star of Jackass Forever Johnny Knoxville, and an infinite number of surprises, it's truly anyone's game.
Stars are going to be made, legends created. What an atmosphere this is tonight!
The only thing for certain,
The road to WrestleMania starts now.
So, yeah, that is Rumble by the numbers. Always gets us excited for the show. Ask to everybody is about Rumble memories, because my first Rumble memory is Royal Rumble 1999. I am showing my age here. It was the first event that I knew about. And luckily, I had a VHS or VCR. And basically, this is like before streaming, before DVDs. This is what we had videotapes. I set the timer and watched it. Of course, Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble against Stone Cold. Mankind versus The Rock probably changed my mind about professional wrestling from that very moment. The I Quit match, that doesn't really get talked about a lot. Maybe not the best Rumble, but for me, that was me in. And then I was from Rumble 2000. It was just like, yeah, bring it on. So, Monty, I'll ask you first. What is your first Rumble memory that you can remember?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I was one of those children who was lucky enough to have like DVDs and like you know, which is something else that's outdated now, by the way. DVDs and
they're like
tapes
videos.
of other.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So like the very first Royal Rumble.
Kids.
Right. The very first Royal Rumble I even like actually experienced was actually the one Shawn Michaels entered one, but that was just because I had like a DVD. I thought it was called like his Boyhood Dream, and they kind of went into detail basically about everything Shawn Michaels did up to the point when he beat Bret Hart in the Iron Man match for the title. So like that was one of the first ones I ever seen. But the very first one I ever like watched I had, it was pay-per-view back then, legit pay-per-view. This is when John Cena returned. I think it was 2008 Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden, and he ended up finishing that Royal Rumble, one of my favorite Royal Rumble matches of all time. I think Jeff Hardy versus Edge was on that card, or Rey Mysterio versus Edge was on that card. It was a very like, you know, very mid 2000s, late 2000s era type of pay-per-view. So like that Royal Rumble was a special moment for me.
No, I was just thinking. I think it's Mike Adamle going Jeff Harvey.
Yes, Jeff Harvey.
Jeff Harvey v. Randy
I think it was
Orton.
Jeff versus Triple H and Edge versus Ray. I think that's how it went. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Jeff versus Orton because he had the fantastic reversal.
Or Orton, yeah, Orton. There you go. I knew it was somebody.
But like I said, Cena coming back, that shock of Cena coming back.
Yes, because he came back early from like
such a massive
or whatever.
Yeah,
he got such a massive pop.
It was one of the biggest pops of Rumble history. You know, wrapped out with a return.
Right, and that was one of my favorite first memories. I actually got that on pay-per-view when it happened, and I was shocked just like everyone else. And I was definitely a Cena fan back in those days. So yeah, that's one of my fondest and special early memories of Royal Rumble.
That's it. See, what about you? What about your first Rumble memory? And I hope it's not the same as Gina's. No.
Well, I really don't remember which year was like the first Rumble that I watched, but what my first memory that really stuck out to me when with the Royal Rumble was the year that China entered. Yeah. It really did just change my sort of outlook in, you know, what women can do and what expectations they hold themselves to. So for me, the most iconic sort of first memory for me was actually seeing a female joining the male Royal Rumble, and I'm watching it with my dad, and I said, Dad, why is she allowed to join the Royal Rumble? And my dad's response was, because China will do what the hell China wants to do. And I loved that. And so that's probably like one of my first memories.
And I'm not saying that we planned this between me and Jackson. That was the Rumble 1999 as well, where China...
Sweet.
Conspiracy.
So, Gina, what about you?
I think it was again, it's not the first Royal Rumble I saw, but one memory that I will always remember is China, and I think it was the 2001 Royal Rumble where she was in a match against Ivory and she had her neck injury. It's just something I'm never gonna forget. But I was really invested in that rivalry between her and Ivory as well. So yeah, seeing that match and then seeing what happened to China at the end was really like is one thing that I will always remember.
Yeah, 2001, where that happens as well, and of course with the commentary going, and it looks like she suffered a serious injury. You do start to panic, you weren't really sure. I believe that's one Austin won, where Triple H just gutted him Hogan, basically, and it was when JR, I thought JR was going to have a stroke during the Rumble match with how excited he was with Stone Cold winning it as well. So.
Yeah.
That's also Kane's like 11 elimination year or something, right? Or something like that.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that was a good run.
Yeah, Drew Kerry. Like Johnny Knoxville this year, we got Drew Kerry in that Rumble.
God, yeah.
The thing is that the Rumble 2015 was a great Rumble, and this kind of brought, you know, the podcast didn't start until May that year, but that kind of started it off, and of course with the cash in at WrestleMania as it now with what Rollins did. And unfortunately, on the WNR podcast history, 2016 Rumble was absolute shit. With Triple H winning it, it's not been great Rumbles. I'm not gonna. We did have Nakamura and Oscar in 2018 winning, but of course letting us down at WrestleManias as well. So it's been a bit hit and miss, I would say. But of course, we played you a clip earlier about Rumble by the numbers, and we hope everybody was listening because we're going to go now some Rumble. It's some stats basically, and we're going to play some games, some knowledge, and I'm going to ask you guys a few questions and. You can all tell me to fuck off if you want, but we'll find out what happens. Now, with your knowledge, first off, for Royal Rumble winners, can all three of you kind of name every single Rumble winner? I'm not going to go into detail, but, I mean, Monty, if I said to you, you got a list of them all, do you think you'd be confident?
Not the early ones. Like, I got Jim Duggan. I think Jim Duggan, Big John Studd, right? I think he was second. Oh man, Hogan maybe was third, maybe.
Yeah, no, you're right at the moment.
I'm doing good. Let's see, what year is the fourth one? 91, 90?
Yeah, 91.
Oh man, that was a little bit tough. Maybe that's Hogan again, because I think he did back to back. So then maybe that's Hogan too again.
He did do back to back. You're on fire at this moment. We are in awe of your knowledge. Yeah. So we move on. 1992 Rumble, one of the most famous Rumbles of all time.
Crap, it is, but that one's escaping me.
Well, 92, I watched it with a tear.
Is it Yokozuna?
I watched it with a tear in my eye, and that's
too early for Yokozuna.
It was Ric Flair going from number 3, winning the championship. You said Yokozuna, that was the following year. What about 1994? Jackson, Gina, if you know, shout out the answer as well. So we're going for 1994. Who won that one?
Yeah, that far back, I can't tell you that I know. So this is all news to me.
Well, 94 was
so
the first
the year
ever,
before Sean's first year.
94 was double winners that year.
So Sean and Brock? No. No, who won the first one? Who won? Who was double tied? Was it? It was Brett, right? Or
Lex
Owen?
Luger, yeah. Lex Luger and Brett both went over at the same time. Really, really good.
Okay, Luger the one I forgot.
Remember that was the double. That was the first double one to happen, right?
Yep, first one ever. Luger coming up at 23, Brett at 27. The second man. No, sorry, the third man at that point to win at number 27. 1995, you just mentioned it, Monty, called Shawn
twice.
Coming at number 1. 96, winning again. What about 97 and 98?
Austin?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
No.
Yeah. You're right, Stone Cold, 97 and 98. 1999, I've just said it with Vince. Year 2000.
The Rock,
yeah.
The Rock.
2001,
Austin
Gina,
again.
we just said it, Austin. 2002,
Triple H returns.
Triple H returns. Get off Wikipedia, Monty. 2003.
No, I know that one. Come on, man. That's off the quad injury, man. I never forget Triple H returns, man.
Eliminating Angle as well, brilliantly. 2003.
Brock?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. 2004.
Yeah. Oh man,
we don't talk
who's in the main event.
We do not talk about him.
Oh yeah, we can't say his name, but we know who, right? Crippler Crossface, the Crippler.
2005 is one of the weirdest ending rumbles of all time.
Yep.
Thinking it's going to be
Vince McMahon tears his quad.
Oh yeah, that was John Cena.
Torn his quad.
Yeah.
And
Batista is officially the winner.
Batista's officially, after both went out. 2006, one from number 2. That's Rey Mysterio. 2007, one at number 30.
Undertaker.
Yeah, 2008, you've just mentioned.
John Cena.
2009.
Okay, now that's
WrestleMania.
Is it Randy?
Yes, it is Randy. Yeah.
Yeah, because he punted Stephanie. That's that Randy who punted Stephanie like the week before, or Vince the week before he won the Royal Rumble.
Should have beaten Triple H in the main event. But
definitely should have beaten Triple H.
Main event of WrestleMania ever. 2010.
Okay.
He could say it happened. Man. He could say it happened on this day.
Also Edge, yeah.
Oh, Edge.
Before he was forced to retire.
Right, 2011. We're getting more up to date now. It is the biggest. Well, it was the biggest Rumble at the time. 40-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah, 40-man. Alberto Del Rio.
Yes, it was Alberto.
Yeah.
2012, the 10-year anniversary, and he's been talking about it recently as well.
Sheamus.
Monty, you're on fire at this moment in time.
Sheamus won the WWE title not too long after it, so yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That's 12 seconds or so. The kiss with Daniel Bryan.
World Heavyweight title. Yeah.
Sheamus didn't kiss Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan kissed AJ, just in case anybody. Not that there's a problem with that if that happened. 2013.
Okay.
WrestleMania 29.
I'm trying to think of Mania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 29 main event. It was meant to be once in a lifetime. This is twice in a lifetime.
Oh yeah, so
John Cena.
The Rock or Cena, yeah. It's only you be Cena on The Rock. I knew it wasn't The Rock. No.
2014. CM Punk should have won.
Should have won it, yeah. He was supposed to win that one. That's before he walks off. But who really won that one? Who's in the main event of 30? Randy? Batista?
Blue Tista won that one, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Tista, yeah.
2015, getting booed out the building.
Roman Reigns got The Rock booed for the first time in forever without asking for it. Like, the look on The Rock's face.
Yeah, it's excellent. All right.
Yeah, like, you didn't want to be there.
Right, Jackson and Gina, here we go. 2016.
No idea.
Randy.
That's the most. It's a WNR first Rumble. It was for the WWE Championship.
Yeah. Triple H, yeah.
2017 is Dan's biggest reaction to any match ever. Because this man won his second Royal Rumble.
AJ Styles. No, because he hadn't even won.
I can hear the argument between the two. No.
No, Randy.
Randy Orton, yes, Randy Orton won it.
Yeah.
Right, now
I knew he won it a second time. I could not for the life of me remember what year it was, though.
Right, so we've got men's and women's now from 2018. So, Jaxie, obviously, you know who won the women.
Go, because we all know the iconic first ever women's Royal Rumble was none other than the Empress of Tomorrow herself.
Yes.
And
she returns tonight, by the way.
The men's winner of 2018, Monty.
Nakamura.
Shinsuke
Nakamura.
The king of strong style.
Also should have won their matches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, both of them. Neither one of them should have lost.
Do you know something as well? Is usually every year on the WNR podcast, we do a mystery WrestleMania where all of us will review a WrestleMania of times gone by. My suggestion for us as a group to look at before WrestleMania is WrestleMania 34. I think that would be the one where, obviously, Monty, you've got memories of it. Jaxie and I have got really bad memories of what's happened, so I think that would be quite good to look back.
I was there live, man.
James, why are you putting me through this trauma again?
I need to do it. We need to deal with it. We need to get to the bottom of the list with Charlotte. We cannot carry on. It's unhealthy.
I know. You are so right. You are very, very right there.
It's an intervention
situation.
We don't want to do it, but we have to. I'm not going to count the greatest Royal Rumble ever, not just because it was Saudi Arabia. Braun Strowman winning that. In 2019, who won the men's Rumble in 2019 then? Who's gonna shout this out?
Come on.
Wait. That was go. How have I forgotten? Wait. Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
It's WrestleMania 36. That was the WrestleMania. And of course, well, the two that won it are actually married now.
Seth.
Yep. Seth won the 2019. Becky Lynch won the women's one, coming out and taking the place of the injured Lana, I do believe, and winning the Rumble there. 2020 women's match. I mean, Jaxie, you know who won the Royal Rumble women.
There, we all know. We're over it. Done. Move on.
Charlotte Flair, the queen.
The queen. And speaking of the king of the ring, the 2020 men's winner, probably the greatest winner of any Royal Rumble matchup.
Yeah.
bias,
Non-biased.
huh? No bias. Huh? Okay.
It is, of course, Drew McIntyre. And then last year's one, who
Bianca
won last year's? Bianca Belair. And who won the men's one? And what entrant was he?
Edge was number one, right?
Yeah, Edge won from number one.
He came in at first, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he did indeed. So, like I said, well done, guys. They're getting them. Like I said, I know it's difficult to start, but if you know your Rumble history, that is not.
I love this match, man.
So honestly, as they talked about numbers, Austin holds the most Rumble victories on 3. 7 people have won 2 Royal Rumbles: Michaels, Hogan, Cena, Batista, Triple H, Orton, and Edge. And number 27 is the luckiest number with the most Royal Rumble winners. But also 1, 24, 28, and 30 are close with 3 apiece as well. Batista is the only person to win from the same spot at number 28. 2007-2008 is the only time the same number 1 in succession. I love this one. When adjusted for inflation, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's 13 win out of 20 wrestlers instead of 30 becomes equivalent of 19.5 by today's standards. So, you know, if you think about all the statistics that we got, the statistics shows that entries from 1 to 10 have produced 10 winners. Entries 11 to 20 have only produced 7 winners, and entries 21 to 30 have produced 23 winners. Or it's 57.5% winners will be from 21 to 30, and 25% of the time it will be the first 1 to 10 entrants, which is, I guess, very, very interesting. So the question is, who has got the most eliminations of all time, I will say. Not just in a Rumble match as much, but of all time. Monty, do you want to take a guess before I pass it on?
He's the mayor in Tennessee, right? Oh, Kane, right?
Yeah,
it
you're
has
right.
to be Kane. He's been in like a billion of them. So
Yeah, I swear he holds like the record for being in the most like Royal Rumbles. So it makes sense. I was going to say Kane too.
It is Kane. Can anybody guess how many eliminations he has had?
No.
we know it's way more than 11.
Between 1 and 100, I think.
I'm going to say
Give a guess.
14.
More than that.
I'm gonna go with 45.
Oh no, you're looking at this, aren't you? It's 45.
No,
it is Kane.
I'm gonna be honest with. All right, I'm about to be honest with you. They actually said that like last night on SmackDown, the little vignette.
All right, okay.
They put a little vignette up, and he said I think they put his number up there, 45. So yeah.
Who has had then the most cumulative women's elimination? Who's the woman that's had the most? Yeah, I know.
That's a good one.
I'm just going to ask you easy ones.
Yeah.
I don't even want to actually say her name, but is it Charlotte Flair?
No, it's actually a bit of a surprise. It's Shayna Baszler with 14.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
She was pick. I should have gone with her. I should have gone. Yeah, I should have not from this one.
Oh.
No, I really wish I went with Shayna, but like that actually, if anything, they should continue to build on that with Shayna and actually start booking her like the badass bitch they originally had booked her for and give her her damn entrance music back.
Yeah. Well, Baszler got 8 eliminations in one matchup, the same as Blair did last year. The men's record is Braun and Lesnar with 13 apiece. Who had the fewest eliminations to win the Royal Rumble? This is such that's a really good question. The fewest eliminations to win.
Are you talking overall, both men and women, or separately?
Just how many people has someone had to eliminate to win a Rumble match? And I honestly can't believe it.
How would I know that, James?
I'm just saying that one person on the list is Vince McMahon, who eliminated just one person to win
only
the 99 Rumble.
Right?
Only Stone.
Yeah.
But incredibly, Randy Orton as well only eliminated one person to win. That must have been 2009 when Legacy was there as part of it as well.
Yeah.
Which I think,
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking Undertaker, but I was only thinking that because I know he entered 30, but he definitely eliminated way more than that. So, like, he cleared the ring, I think, when he got in. So, never mind.
So we go then to men's. We talk about longest total Royal Rumble time. So who is the man that spent the most time in a Royal Rumble match? Sorry,
is it Daniel Bryan?
Daniel Bryan has spent the most time singly in a Rumble match, 1 hour and 16 minutes, but he doesn't hold the total record of how long.
Man, that's a tough one.
Okay, that's tough.
He is not in WWE anymore, but he still wrestles.
Chris Jericho, maybe?
It is Chris Jericho with 4 hours and 59 minutes in a Raw, all together in a Rumble.
Because he's never won one. He's
never won one either. No,
like an Iron Man of the match. So that makes sense.
Never ever know. And I tell you, someone that if he has half hour in a Rumble tonight, Randy Orton could beat that record. He's on 4 hours and 31 minutes. And of course, Rey Mysterio, if he comes in number one, goes distance again, he's 4 hours and 5 minutes. The women's longest time is Charlotte Flair with 1 hour and 50, which will probably beat that today as well. We've got some stats, so it makes me laugh because one of the things we're going to do for mini games is the Santino or the quickest elimination. So can anybody tell me what the quickest elimination was in Royal Rumble history?
It's Santino.
Somebody broke Santino. I thought somebody broke that, right?
No, Santino still holds the record.
Still got it? Oh, okay.
He beat
somebody
the
was supposed
Wardlow
to break it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 1.9 seconds is the time.
Okay.
The shortest women's time is actually Liv Morgan, 8 seconds in 2019, which is pretty crazy if you think about that. There's also a few things.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's a few things that might happen in the Rumble as well if we're paying attention at home. It'll be a quick elimination. A competitor is eliminated within 10 seconds of entering the ring. Normally coming in at 4 or 5 would be fair to play at that point. Comic relief.
Yeah.
When like Drew Carey, or we're going to get Johnny Knoxville this year, or Ernest the Cat Miller with Somebody Called My Mama. The action stops. For one reason or the other, the action simply stops. The one person left in the ring, like Rikishi dancing in 2000, Austin checking his watch, CM Punk cutting some promos. Someone previously eliminated will orchestrate the elimination of somebody else. Attacked before the entrance. A shock entrance, what someone saw. Nostalgia competitor like Roddy Piper and Snooker in 2008.
Snooker, yeah.
Tag team succession. A tag team member comes out a couple of numbers after. Here's one look for that for the Street Profits as well. A feud that started, which does that. You know, Monty, do we miss that from a Rumble? You know, when like Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels used to attack each other in the start of WrestleMania match. We don't have enough of that now. That is something that is missing.
Yeah,
and I think that. Go ahead. Yeah, I think that comes from like the fact that they don't have that foresight that they used to have going into Mania and all that. Like I think we've heard the stories. Vince used to have WrestleMania or what was going on for the next year planned out ahead of time, and now we know that it's hectic. It can change on the fly. He can rip up the script tonight of what originally was a plan for the Royal Rumble. It'd be a completely different show. So, yeah, I think that's why we don't really get the storytelling that we used to get as often in these Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah, it is something that we miss. We get the big man team up in order to eliminate one of the Giants. Several people gang up on him. You can also get a bonus point if the big man pushes off and all 7 go scurrying away as well. Of course, the house cleaner, where a wrestler eliminates 3 or 4 within a second. Shockingly quick. Not necessarily the fastest elimination, but someone who should have lasted longer gets the short end of the stick. So like Ricochet tonight. And then an ally turns on a friend. Is there any other Rumble kind of statistics or stats that are missing out there? Anything that we can think that happens?
You're missing the like most creative way of getting back in the ring with,
Yeah.
He's always, him and Naomi both are iconic for it, so I'm definitely expecting that from them again tonight in both respective matches.
Yeah, it's just true. We will see that. I think that is that's still quite cool. I remember John Morrison trying to, a few things like jumping on the barricade and stuff like that. But
I think at one point.
It'd be interesting to see kind of what they do and stuff like that. But that is all the...
And I always look out for skin in the cat. Like, I remember one year, Dolph Ziggler's, oh my goodness. And what I mean by that is going over and then using your upper body to pull yourself back over the top. They call that skin in the cat. Or like the classic Shawn Michaels spot. It's always usually a wrestler who stays, like you said, like an Iron Man wrestler who stays in the ring a long time. And he's always surviving by the skin of his teeth. I remember Dolph Ziggler, I think it was 15, he did that the entire match.
Well, not only that as well, thinking about that, it's like the king or a heel type who will hang, like Roman used to all the time, hold on to the bottom rope or go hiding for a period of the match and then get kind of caught again underneath the ring,
It's done that quite a lot as well, like kind of either hidden or something like that and then come out to do a comedic moment,
Well, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. We are building and building towards the excitement of the Royal Rumble. And now before we do the Rumble mini games, we're just going to run through the card, get what we think is going to happen, and give predictions as well. We should say, like we said, the prediction league started at the start of the year with Monty and Jaxie getting a point each and for drawing for day 1. But don't worry, Gina, tonight is our night. We're going to get them good. Of course, there is 2 different leagues. We've got 3 leagues, actually. We've got the AEW League, we're going to look at next month. The W Pay-Per-View League, which is, like we said, Monty and Jaxie are 1 each at this moment. And the Bonus League, or Bonus Point Predictions. We've done year-end predictions, but we can do at the end of the year. And the Rumble, basically, with the mini-games, is going to be a bonus point for each one. Now, even if I ask you guys what the final 4 people in the ring is, say if, whatever reason, you put Charlotte, you still get a point for that. So you can get 4 points total. So there is a shed load of points here for bonuses. So do not worry if we're behind with any predictions with the leagues, because it all works itself in the end. For that, we're going to run through the card now. And a Raw Women's title match on the line. Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. Now, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it should be good. Jaxie, are you looking forward to this match? Which way do you think it's going to go?
I'm looking forward to the match because of it being Becky Lynch versus Piper Niven. I'm going to call her Piper Niven because I really can't do it. I mean, the match itself is going to actually be great. I think Piper Niven is a really great and talented wrestler and very underrated. So I think that, if they're given it enough time, I think it would be a great match. I just don't believe the outcome is going to be anything that of note.
Yeah, I don't. I feel if they were going to have Lynch lose in a women's title match at a Rumble, Oscar would have got the job done.
Right.
I think with Doudrop, it's a name going to stop her, Monty, from becoming successful.
Well, in fans' eyes, I don't necessarily think so, because I think, like you just mentioned, when you call her Piper, and anyone who's familiar with her, before it is, like, we know how good she is and her potential, no matter what the name says. But I don't know about booking. I don't know about long term. I don't even know if they will ever give her the storylines that one is needed, in my opinion, to really ingratiate themselves in the, with the fans. No matter what side of the fence you're on. Like, for example, she was a really good heel in her feud with Bianca, and then immediately now they switched directions without her actually changing her character at all, and now she's, I guess, supposed to be the babyface in this scenario. So, like, because are they going to be more consistent?
Like, you got to also, like, look at the fact of where did she get the name Doudrop? Was someone who was not associated with the company anymore. So why are they not
fair enough
back to her original name that she came into the company with, which was Piper Niven? And in all honesty, it suits her better. This Doudrop scenario actually makes her come across as less of a threat, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think we all appreciate her and like her, but I just don't think she will be taken as seriously as she deserves, just simply because of the name.
Exactly.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do, because there's no doubt Piper Niven Doudrop is extremely talented, and with Becky Lynch, when she's motivated, this could be really, really good. This is going to be the coming out party for Doudrop, and even if you want to get a bit more serious and drop back to Piper Niven, but I think, they've been put in a position where she's kind of Nia Jax light at this moment and showing. And I think she's showing she's got more talent. And, I mean, even the promos she's been given, there's a lot of fire. And when you believe in yourself, it's very, very important. And I think this could be a great match. I will say this, the way the match card or the match cards are laid out, the way the matches are. So, like, if Lynch and Doudrop is first, then the crowd reaction will be great. But if they're put in a kind of filler spot after either a Rumble or a title match, they could be in a bit of trouble. I also feel with the outcomes, the match selection is going to be vital on the predictions as well. When it comes to, if we see Bobby knocking off Brock early on, then we're going to go, shit, it's not Rollins then, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to go Becky Lynch for that one. Monty, you back in Big Time Beck?
Yeah, I'm the same. Becky Lynch, there's just no way. I don't really believe that, like you said, a reign this long, with all the rumors swirling around that I can get into later, I just don't see it not happening. Like you said, not on that stage at WrestleMania when it comes to Becky losing this championship, even though, like I said, I think they can have a really, really strong match.
Right, and if they wanted to drop the title off, they should have took it off with Morgan winning it day one and have that rematch. Now giving it time. Gina, which way do you see this going?
I definitely see Becky. Sorry, I put a sweet in my mouth. I definitely see it as Becky. I don't see Doudrop being that elevated enough to be able to win it here, or at least give us like a bit of insight in thinking, oh, Doudrop might have this. We all know it's going to be Becky who's going to win. It's just because they don't book the storyline in advance enough to that make it feel like maybe there could be a change.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's interesting to see that, and also another point was made as well is if you look at Lily Doudrop, Leslie v Lashley, Rollins v Reigns, it's all heels versus heels. So there's not really doesn't make a lot of sense when you kind of look at it in who's going to back. But the only match that is definitive face versus heel is Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth. And Gina, are you going to vote for the Miz?
No, I'm not. Not after the backlash I got last time.
I've never had so many emails about that. It was unbelievable. It was, I think it went viral.
People were offended by that.
People just didn't understand. But in all seriousness, Gina, are you looking forward to the Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth? Because the build-up hasn't been too bad, and when we see the four interacting, it should be quite good. And the Miz should take a couple of double-team moves from Beth and Edge, surely.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen to the Miz, and it's going to be a good match. I would have preferred it if they brought Beth back into her own storyline first, and then maybe did this whole couples match after. But either way, I still think is a match that I'm looking forward to and enjoying, because it's always nice to see like real life couples interact, and especially when you've got like the Miz and Maurice, who are very comical to watch. You know, it's still going to be entertaining whether you're looking forward to the match or not.
And the other thing that I quite like is Edge, obviously, you know, started his retirement tour at this moment in time. They ask him, who do you want to work with? And if he does want to work with Beth Phoenix, it's the first time they're doing it, then it's working, and it should be entertaining, because at least he's motivated. And it'll be interesting to see if anything comes from this as well. Of course, you know, talking about, you know, I hate the term dream match, but AJ Styles versus Edge for me at WrestleMania makes all the sense in the world, and I think it'd be great. But how they get there from this will be interesting. But I still think this match is going to be really, really good. Monty, which way do you see this going?
Yeah, I'm going with the baby faces. I just don't think you bring them back and then have them lose. I mean, the Miz don't win often anyway, and he's a good enough talker to make any story that he tells in the future believable, or they sprinkle enough wins in there enough for him to where you like, he has a chance. But I don't see of course, the Miz and Maurice winning this match. And I do love that, you know, and this is what the young people in NXT will call her Auntie Belle. It is nice to see, you know, after she exited NXT, see what she's doing. Like, you know, it wasn't for nothing. You know, it's just really nice to just see her back in general. So, like, I'm really looking forward to, like, another 3D, another, heart attack. You know, maybe even just, you know, she may hit the glam slam on Miz just for shits and giggles. Who knows? Like, this can be really, really fun. I'm not expecting a match, but I am expecting entertainment.
Jaxie, what about you? Which way are you swaying?
I mean, there's only one way that this is going to go. Do you know what I mean? Beth and Edge are totally taking this. Like, Miz is definitely regretting his mouth right now with this match. I think it's going to be an entertaining match, and I think this is one that can actually be put on potentially in between Rumble matches, just to kind of break up from the length, because this will be something that's kind of lighthearted, comical in a way of the Miz being the Miz, but also just a little bit feel good to be able to see Beth Phoenix back in the ring. I'm pretty sure this is Maurice's first official match as well since coming back. So, you know, for both women, this is like their first official matches back. It is just one that's going to be quite lighthearted and it's going to be enjoyable to watch, regardless of the outcome. But the outcome, we all know, is going to be Edge and Beth Phoenix.
And just double checking with Gina, definitely Edge and Beth in this one. Yeah, no mucking about.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not even going to joke about it. Straight up say I'm going with Edge and Beth.
All right, so up next, the WWE Championship on the line, the dream match as it was, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Jaxie, we both have talked about the intensity of Bobby Lashley, and I mentioned it earlier, victory for him would make I would say, even his career, to get one over on Brock. What are your thoughts?
Hell yeah. Listen, right, we've talked about this a lot, but I have to say this because I've got strong feelings about this. But Bobby Lashley is kind of someone that should have already been considered to be like the next Brock in terms of the way he's booked. Like,
beast mode. And WWE have legit been doing that right. Ever since teaming him up with MVP, he's been booked right up until a certain point. Mans needs to win tonight. Like, he definitely needs to get one over on Brock. Like, with this whole persona that Brock has got, don't get me wrong, I love the persona that we're getting from Brock at the moment. Just free-loving, you know, just having a joke with about everything rather than taking everything so seriously like Brock Lesnar. But that is the exact reason why Bobby Lashley needs to win this match, because he needs to actually remind Brock that he's not the only badass. And he only comes back, you know, every now and again. Bobby Lashley has been working his ass off throughout his whole career with WWE. If Mans don't win it against Brock tonight, it's going to be actually heartbreaking for me, only because he deserves it. Bobby deserves this title back. As much as I loved Big E's reign, I think it was too soon to have taken the title off of Bobby in the first place. I've said that quite a few times. So for me, hands down, I'm going with Bobby to win this.
I mean, and also, like, what is the problem with Heyman distracting the referee, Reigns coming out, Superman punch to Brock, into a spear,
Exactly.
Job done like that. The question is, Heyman, what side is he on? Bobby gets a big win, and Brock can go and focus on Roman there. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a 5-minute smash. That is the most disappointing thing that could happen in this matchup, with Brock just suplex F5.
I mean, watch Twitter if they do that. I will voice my opinion very, very loudly on there.
I think a lot of people will say that.
I mean, he could lose, but it got to be competitive, man. Come on now.
I don't know if it's going to go over 10
I'm
minutes.
with you, though.
I really do see it as like a win-win type way of actually having it, as you said, James, about having, you know, Paul Heyman kind of create some sort of distraction, have Roman come out and just cost Brock the match, because we all know that they're saving Brock v. Roman for WrestleMania. Everyone knows it. Anyone who's a fan of WWE, especially with the way things have been booked and why they're not feuding right this current moment, is specifically because they're building up to WrestleMania for that WrestleMania moment. So this makes all the sense in the world for Bobby to take the title off Brock now, to free Brock up, to be like, yo, I've lost that one. I'm coming for yours again.
Yeah, and then you can have the storyline of Brock and Bobby again, with Bobby saying, no, I've got your number, mate. I always knew I would, and you took me too, lightly last time. And we've seen Brock do that before. That's what makes perfect sense. He did an Eddie of not taking the guy seriously.
Yep. Yeah.
This is interesting though, because I don't know who's going to win. I've kind of talked myself in the other situation, but I can't go against what WWE is. So I'm going to say predictions for me. I'm going to go Brock Lesnar. Even though I want Bobby to win, I just don't think they will do it. Jaxie, which way are you going to go?
I'm going Bobby, hands down.
Monty?
Yeah, me too. I'm going Bobby Lashley. I'm with you guys. Like, I understand exactly what you're feeling, James. I get it, man. You know, they love that he's the safety blanket. Trust me, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. It'll hurt my heart, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it went that way. But the way he's been so dismissive of Bobby, and we know how dominant Bobby was when Brock was nowhere to be found. And it's just like, so you just gonna dismiss everything almighty about Bobby Lashley by letting him lose this match like that. I just don't. I wouldn't like it, and it just opens up so many more doors if you let Bobby win here. Like you said, you can come back down the line, and Brock can actually take him more seriously down the time. Down the line, actually pay him mind because he lost this match, and I think it'd just be so perfect. But again, I'm with you. It's always scenarios where we think make sense, and they go in the opposite direction. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm definitely picking Bobby Lashley.
It's interesting with the predictions, even though it's like bonus points, how serious I just felt it all get. You know, talking about Lesnar.
Wait. Who's your pick? Oh, Bobby Lashley. Oh, okay.
So Gina's going to go Lashley as well.
Yeah.
Prepare for heartbreak.
That's what I was going to say to Gina. Like, don't worry about how serious it is.
If my heart's getting broken, then yours is too. So at least I'm not.
I'm just letting you know. Yeah, we might as well just get ready. Let's just band together. We got a common bond here.
That's fine. if I'm wrong, it would be the best point I've lost because at least
Keep hope alive, Jay.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But after day one, I'm not taking any chances. I'm just going to go straight for what WWE do. I'm sorry.
That's true.
Sorry, but...
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
They like to fall back on their safety blankets, as Monty said as well.
They
so
do.
I get why you choose the opposite.
Up next, it's the Universal title. Roman Seth Rollins, brother versus brother. I love the fact I didn't even mention it. They call each other little brother and big brother and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I like that.
Subtle touch. Nice touch, man.
Of course, Usos are barred from ringside. But Gina, the question is, which way are you? First off, are you looking forward to this match? And which way do you see it panning out?
I am looking forward to this match, and I definitely can see Roman retaining the title. I don't see Seth taking it off him at this. I think they're going to put on a really, really good and entertaining match. But I just don't see Seth rolling it and winning it, unfortunately.
Jaxie, what about you? Which way are you going for this one?
Yeah, hands down, going to stick with Roman just because, like I said, I like to think that Brock will come for Roman next, and that will happen at WrestleMania. So I'm going Roman. However, I do think that this is going to be quite a good match. I think especially after the last promo we just got on SmackDown between them, we know this isn't all about just temper sparring. As you both just rightly said, they refer to each other as brothers. This is personal, so I feel like it's going to be a great match that's going to have a lot of depth to it. But Roman's coming out on top.
Or is he? Monty, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't think they can miss. I think in the ring we're gonna enjoy it. But I'm with the ladies here, man. Seth Rollins winning here right now, I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. It's kind of like in a similar vein to what we saying about Becky Lynch and like the reign being so special, and you know what I mean, and having it in at Royal Rumble. You know, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think it has to happen at WrestleMania, and I would like it to, you know, I don't know exactly how that's going to turn out when it happens, but it's just I don't see it happening now. And even though I wouldn't mind Seth winning it, and I would like the story, I would understand the story. I just don't see it.
It's interesting because I mean, I'm waiting to ask you guys what your men's Rumble pick would be, but we'll do Women's Rumble first. Jaxie, are you going to go Charlotte? Who are you going for the Women's Rumble? And what is give me who you're going for, and what would be like your dream scenario?
I literally just had to take a second there because you teasing me about me choosing Charlotte is like, no, that's not even a joke. That's a nightmare. Like, I would never. Even if she had all the
30 Charlottes, you would still pick.
I would never vote Charlotte. So, I mean, this does give away like some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about in terms of like surprise entrance. But hands down, I'm going with Asuka to win the second time over.
You're going to go Asuka to win the Women's Rumble. Yep. I'm going to go safe with my pick, but Monty, I'll get you first. Who do you think is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble match?
Yeah, I'm going even more on a limb, and I'm kind of spoiling something I mentioned earlier too, but I kind of got to stick to something I had told you when I was just predicting things that would happen in December about what would happen in this year. So I'm sticking with it. I don't really have any cues to go on. So I'm hoping it just be a great, shocking surprise. But I'm thinking returning Bayley could possibly win the Royal Rumble and come out of nowhere. She's never won the Royal Rumble before. It'd be a nice feat to give her. So, yeah, that's why I'm leaning. So, yeah, I'm going with Bayley.
Well, it's so exciting. It is exciting to talk about it as well.
Right?
Who would she go on to face at WrestleMania?
Well, she'd be a baby face.
Well, I mean... Yeah, she could kind of take her pick. Like, I assume, like, yeah, she would kind of get a babyface reaction after getting injured. And, for my liking, I would probably want Bianca to get another shot at Becky. So maybe I would go toward maybe Bayley and Charlotte, but just kind of like a role reversal where she's the babyface in the scenario. Not hugging, but like a different type of babyface, but still a babyface going against Charlotte. So, yeah, I can probably see that.
Another Becky Lynch, like, as much as they don't want to admit that she's a baby.
Right.
Because everyone sees her that way.
Right, so we've got Asuka, we've got Bayley. Gina, who are you going to go for to win the Women's Rumble?
I'm going to choose Sasha.
Oh.
I'm not mad at that. It's safe. I'm not mad at that. It's the smart. Because
all of these choices right now have got are very strong possibilities. So like I don't even think I would complain either.
Nope. Me either.
The thing is this is how open the Rumble match is. Yeah, Charlotte might be a favourite, but we've got Asuka, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and I'm going to go back-to-back Rumble winner, Bianca Belair. Belair is going to win the Rumble match and face Lynch.
I'm not mad at that.
At WrestleMania. All 4 choices are excellent. I would take that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at any of them, to be honest. Like, I mean, to be honest, if I didn't think that Asuka could be a surprise entrant, if I knew that she was very injured and not coming back, like my next choice would have actually been Bianca Belair to win it a second time in a row.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around tonight. I'm not. I'm just thinking Belair. They mentioned it on the SmackDown graphic last night. They went, no one's won it back to back for 24 years.
Went back to back. Yeah,
that's a very good record to break after 24 years with Belair getting the job done.
And she would be perfect for the job, man.
I'm not mad at any of these winners, but can I just add as like a little asterisk type of winner as well? I really wouldn't be mad if Shayna Baszler won and absolutely dominated the whole women in the Royal Rumble.
So if that to her,
she's kind of like the sort of like VIP win. If she won and she was as dominant as she was in the Elimination Chamber, but in the Royal Rumble, I really wouldn't be mad at that either.
No, I mean if Bayley,
and I've been hearing rumors. I hope it not. I'm not necessarily hoping for it, but if Ronda comes back, I just don't see her not winning either.
Well, this is the thing. But will Rousey come back? The rumors of Ronda. Will she be back in a Rumble match or do what she did when she debuted? It come out afterwards, steal Oscar's thunder and point at the Mania sign.
That's fair.
Also, just not come back either because they do. I'm pretty sure they said that she gave birth in September, so not everyone's going to be a Becky Lynch and come back early on, and she made it clear that she.
What a way to win a Rumble if she brought out a fake baby and threw it at the competitor.
That'd be so gems. Oh my god! Oh no, she couldn't do that. Like that would actually be like a photo, like the battle of the babies.
Battle of the baby. Gene Snitsky returns and just kicks it into the crowd. Like that's kind of what we want.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't my fault. And Gene Snitsky thanks me for the reference.
Dude, you punted it.
Yeah, dude, come on. So yeah, wow, what a choice that is. I'm looking forward to it. So Belair, Asuka, Bayley, or Banks. Like I said, take my money for that. So the last question, last prediction that we're going to do at the moment, not a spoiler, is the Men's Rumble matchup. Now, I have been debating so hard over this because I've been doing Rumble picks for a few years, and I would say out of the 6 Rumbles that we've watched, 4 times I've picked a guy that's not even going to be in it, thinking they're going to be a surprise entrance, and they never show up, being Ronda Rousey back in 2018 or anybody else like that. So my Men's Rumble pick is going to, I don't know if I'm going to go for it. No, I am. Go on. I'm going to say my winner is Drew McIntyre. He's going to win the Men's Rumble match. I know what you're thinking.
James.
I'm crazy. Come on. Come in at 27 or 28. Make the crowd go wild. Yes. Get that victory. Get to Mania. Get the job done.
Challenge Roman. Yes. I'm with you, man. That's me. That's my pick also.
That's if Brock isn't free.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, Monty, you actually going Drew McIntyre?
Yes, I'm sticking with another prediction from before we even knew about the bill for the Royal Rumble. But he's been so underutilized so far, and they've been trying their best to keep him away from Roman. I just think the perfect way for him to get through all the management politics that he's been dealing with character-wise would be for him to just return, win the Royal Rumble, and get a shot at Roman. And even if Brock was to join the party, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to make a super huge main event, and if Brock is available, they do a Roman, Brock, and Drew. That's probably less likely because I know they like to finish in one-on-ones, and I would prefer Roman versus Drew one-on-one. But yeah, that's who I'm leaning with. It's so wide open, but I've been thinking about Drew for the longest. He just seemed like the best pick. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The only thing I will say, Monty, is they've announced 25 people with only 5 left, and we don't want to get to a stage where we're waiting for number 30 and it ends up being Chad Gable. No offense to Gable, but
and I love Gable, but yeah,
that is another Rumble like game of getting excited about who's left, and it ended up being, you know, like I said, Happy Corbin or something.
The last time they did that was Rey Mysterio when everyone wanted Daniel Bryan. He got booed, but it wasn't him that was getting booed. It was more like they were booing the company, and I just felt so.
like, fuck this.
They're booing, babe. Yeah.
Right, so Jaxie, who is your pick for men's Rumble winner?
Okay, so firstly, I just want to actually say that Drew was a strong contender to be my choice tonight. I decided to go the other way because I didn't want to rely on Drew actually returning, because I didn't know if this is all storyline or if he genuinely is like off for like legit throat injury. So I decided to like kind of follow instincts, I would say. I'm going with Big E. I think that he's got still enough pop to be able to go, and if Brock is defeated by Bobby Lashley, I would love Big E versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. Give it to me.
That is excellent. Big E winning would be fantastic to see as well, especially, you know, recent times as well after that W title run to get back in the game. Gina, who are you going to go for?
On AEW with Sammy Guevara, you know, so it would be like quite good, especially for Big E. I think that he could still like prove more. But I think both him and Bobby would just be a great one-on-one. We didn't really get much between them because he obviously had cashed in, so it was quite quick when they did actually face off, and he won. So it would be so nice to actually see that at WrestleMania.
Right, I think we're out. Gino, who are you going to go for?
I had the same written down. I had Big E.
Okay, Big E for that one. I'm a bit surprised one's gone for Brock Lesnar, because, you know, when you think about it, if he was to lose to Lashley to win the Rumble and then challenge Reigns, is the story there, you know? Are we worried about Brock stealing everybody's thunder?
I mean, that could be an option, but I really hope that he doesn't do that, because he kind of had that storyline with the Money in the Bank and took it from Ali, which everyone was like
pissed at.
Yeah, that's that. I just kind of don't want to see Brock win. So as much as I think that actually could be an option, I don't want to believe it.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And like I said, there are our predictions, so that will be on the line when we do our Royal Rumble review, and a wide range of stuff that can happen. I mean, the thing is, if Lesnar wins tonight, you guys are going to be in trouble. That's the thing that I'm looking forward to. If that goes my way.
James.
But vice versa, though.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
I'm fucked then. This is what happens when it comes to predictions, but it is time now, and we are going to do Royal Rumble mini games. And like I said, we've got bonus points coming out of the Yazoo at this point. So I'm going to ask you guys some very simple questions, and basically we're going to pick what we've got. When it comes to like who eliminates who and surprise entrances, I thought 3 picks, but if we can't think of 3 picks, then we might have to, you know, shorten it or whatever it is like that. But we'll start with the men's Royal Rumble, and then we'll, of course, move on to the women's one. First off, in the Rumble match, like we said, it is going to be Rey and Dominic Mysterio, Street Profits, Austin Theory, Sheamus, Johnny Knoxville, Priest, AJ Styles, Big E, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Kofi, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Omos, Randy Orton, Riddle, Chad Gable, Otis, Nakamura, Boogs, Ricochet, and 5 more. Now, the question I'm going to ask first, and I'll ask to Monty to start us off, is Santino, who will be the guy who gets eliminated the quickest or suffers the quickest elimination? You want to start us off?
Yeah, I couldn't think of nobody, honestly. Like, other than, like, I don't even know if he's going to be in it, but I feel like Reginald. So, I don't know. Like, I figured he would evade some people and then just get eliminated like nothing. So, I don't know. I couldn't really think of anybody. So, that's the only person I can think of.
No, that's fine. I'm going to go Madcap Moss. Just because you'll be laughing and joking and just get thrown over the top as quick as that.
Good pick.
McIntyre comes back and fucks him up. That's it. That's what I'm going to go for. McIntyre. And just, like, destroys him in 8 seconds. Jaxie, who do you think is going to be eliminated the quickest in the men's rumble?
Okay, so my choice might not be like a favorite, but I'm going to go with Ridge Holland because I feel like it's going to be one of those situations where Sheamus is already out in the ring. And he gets real excited when he sees his protege coming into the ring, like, yeah, we're going to fuck shit up now. And then I think just someone's just going to, like, straight up, like, eliminate him. And then Sheamus is just like, oh, shit.
I'm by myself now, I'm fucked. Gina, who do you think is going to be the Santino of this year?
Ricochet.
Oh.
He always gets the short end of the stick. And I feel
man.
Poor Ricochet. I mean, he tries so hard, but you're right. You know what's going to happen. Sheamus will throw him straight over the top. It will be a shame. The Iron Man is next, the longest person in the Rumble. I'm going to go with someone pretty easy. I think he's going to come out quite early and do very well. Austin Theory is going to be the Iron Man in the men's Rumble tonight. Monty, what about you?
Man, I had him first. I promise you I did. But for some reason, I was just like, I like Theory, but I think Riddle fits the role more because he would be like someone who just survived, like you said, either grabbing the bottom rope or, like I mentioned earlier, the Shawn Michaels spot. I don't know why I just imagine Riddle doing it, but Austin Theory is a really good pick too. But yeah, I'm going with Riddle.
That's Riddle. That's fine. Gina, who's going to be the Iron Man?
I decided to go for someone just random for the Iron Man, so I went with Finn Balor.
Oh, that's fine. Finn Balor is yours. Jaxie?
Yeah, I'm going with Big E on this one. I think he could have quite a long run.
We move on next to most eliminations. Now, for me, this was... let me just make sure they're in the Rumble. Yeah, for me, this is pretty easy. Who's there? This is a dude that's going to have a standout moment, and he's going to have the most. And if I'm wrong, I'll be very surprised. Omos. I think Omos will come out there and take out half the field. Monty, what do you reckon?
I agree, 100%. He's the perfect character for that. They love bringing the Giants out to clear out the ring, and I think Omos will be great. And I think it'll be someone like a Big E or a Drew, or someone, or maybe even AJ Styles, who could possibly get him over the top rope. So, and that's going to be a big moment. And whoever gets that moment is going to be a big pop for them because he's going to be so dominant. So yeah, I'm going with Omos.
Yeah, I think Omos right. Gina, who are you going to go for most eliminations?
I actually am going to go with Damian Priest.
That's a great shout, actually, especially if he gets.
We'll be mad at it.
Flared nostrils, then everybody's in trouble.
Yes.
For sure. But I also think that they still want to try and push him in a way. I don't see him winning it, but I could see him getting maybe the most eliminations.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jaxie?
I actually chose AJ Styles. I feel like he could have that type of stand-up moment where he might not necessarily win the Rumble, but he'll have the most eliminations.
That's really, really good. So next is who eliminates who. Now I thought maybe I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3 picks, but this might be a little bit involved. So who eliminates who? So Monty, who are you going to go for who eliminates who in the men's Rumble?
Now, I know you didn't include this, but when I wrote this down, I kind of came with the thought process on somebody that it may be vice versa. So, I got Omos eliminating AJ Styles, but if AJ Styles eliminated Omos, I wouldn't be surprised. I see Owens and Priest doing something, like Owens may possibly getting rid of Priest or Priest getting rid of Kevin Owens. And then I hope so, because if not, all of these promos were pointless. I'm hoping either Knoxville gets eliminated by Sami Zayn or that he eliminates Sami Zayn. Those are the only thing I can really guarantee that I think we probably will see.
Well, I'm going to put you down for Omos eliminating AJ, Omos, and do you want Zayn and Knoxville or Knoxville Zayn?
I'm going Knoxville Zayn.
Right, Knoxville Zayn.
I guess.
That's perfect. With my ones, let's see who I wrote down here. See who eliminates who. Would be. I'm just gonna make it up if I can't think. To be fair, like you know what I mean. This is so difficult. I'm gonna put Ridge eliminates Ricochet for busting up his face.
Yeah.
We are gonna put McIntyre eliminating fucking hell Sheamus and someone who's not in a tag team together. I will say, got it. Riddle eliminates Orton, and that could be a little bit of a look what he did. There you go.
Yeah.
Jaxie, that was off the top of my head. Hopefully, you've put some more planning into it.
Well, I've got a bit of a random one, but I feel like Kofi Kingston could eliminate Ridge Holland.
Right, that's fine. Any.
So I'm going to go with that one. But I also have like quite an interesting one because we all know that father and son are in the Royal Rumble. So Dominic,
yes, I agree.
Eliminating Ray. Do it.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. And
I
have you
think
got
that strongly happen?
That's excellent.
And I'd actually want it to happen that way. I wouldn't want it to be Ray eliminating Dominic. I'd want it the other way around. And then I also had the same idea as Monty in thinking that Johnny eliminates Sami.
Yeah, so we'll put you down for that as well. It's not a problem. So now, Gina, you got 3 choices.
So I'm gonna go with Sheamus eliminating Ridge Holland.
Yep.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Just because, like, Sheamus has just been saying a lot of stuff lately, like, oh, he does this like me, he's just like me, blah, blah, blah. And I think he's just going to get a bit of a jealous hat on, and he's just going to get rid of Ridge.
That'd be an interesting turn. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one. I also wrote down Johnny eliminating Sami.
Yep.
Like, Sammy's kind of brought it on himself, really, hasn't he? So, yeah. I think we're gonna have to... And I wrote these 2 down, but I'm not actually sure if they're in the Royal Rumble. But I put Edge to eliminate The Miz. I didn't know if they were in the actual Royal Rumble, though.
They've not been announced yet, but I can put that down as a one.
That would actually be really funny, especially if, like, you know, they their match and Edge and Beth Phoenix won the match, and then Miz comes into the Royal Rumble just to get eliminated by Edge too. That would actually be good.
So then we have got Final 4, but I thought for number 1 and number 2, usually they announce like number 1 and 30. So I'm just for shits and giggles, we're gonna do who you think number 1 is and who you think number 30 is. So. For me, number 1, I'm going to say, just for a laugh, AJ Styles is number 1. There you go. Monty, who do you think is going to be number 1 in the Rumble?
I think Finn Balor. I'm going with Finn Balor entering first.
That's perfect. Jaxie?
I'm going to go with Kevin Owens.
Owens at number 1 for you. And Gina?
I also had Finn Balor written down.
Cool. That's fine. That's number 1. That's perfect. And number 30 in the Rumble, I'll say Edge. You've just given me that idea, Gina. That's fine. Number 30. Jaxie, who do you think is going to be number 30?
I'm going to go with AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. Monty?
In my mind, to make the surprise even sweeter, I think that would be McIntyre's spot.
I should have put that.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
I changed my answer.
We've all gone McIntyre. No, Gina, who do you reckon?
Oh, I feel to steal that idea now. I feel to
do.
steal the McIntyre.
Yeah.
I actually had Edge written down for number 30 as well. So
Would you want Edge or McIntyre? It's up to you.
no, let's go with Edge. I'll stick with my original guess.
So you take my answer. So final four in this Rumble. I have worked it out in my head. I actually did a little bit of work here. So who do I think is going to be last? Let's have a look. So I have put McIntyre. Oh, here we go. It's quite interesting. I put McIntyre, Sheamus, Austin Theory, and I'm going to put Omos as well as my final four. What a weird final four that is. Sheamus, Theory, Omos, McIntyre. That is my final four. Jaxie, what about you?
Okay, so for my final four, I think I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens, and Big E.
That is a good final four. I'm not going to lie. Right, we'll go Monty next. Who's your final four, mate?
Yeah, it was really tough to choose between either Priest or Owens here for me, but I think I went with Owens to give it a little bit of heel and babyface balance. I went with Owens in Theory, and Big E and Drew.
Oh, nice.
Owens, Theory, Big E, and Drew. That's great. And then Gene. So if you just, I am trying to write them down at the same time. So if I am paying attention, I promise. Gina, who's your final four? But my writing is so bad, it's going to be so difficult. When I go back to read this, I go, no, I'm going to have to listen to it. Gina...
Well, mine written down, so if you need me to send them to you, if you forget, I'll let you know.
Appreciate that. Gina, who's your final four?
So I had Finn, Drew, Big E, and Edge as final four.
Awesome. That was a great final four as well. So we've done number 1, number 30. So up next is Lucky Number. A lucky number is a great thing because we all got modern technology. And actually, we'll save Lucky Number until the end of the women's one because we're going to use the same one. I'm going to ask a search engine on a phone. Others are available, of course, between a number between 1 and 30. And we'll use that number for both the men's and the women's. So if we're lucky enough to pick, I don't know, 27 and it wins, we do get a bonus point for that. But we'll do that right at the end because we'll move on to the Women's Rumble matchup now. And we start all over again. So the Santino for the Women's Rumble matchup, who was Gina, why don't you start us off and tell us who do you think will be the quickest in the Women's Rumble?
Sorry, which one are we guessing here?
So we're on the women's, and it's Santino, which is the quickest. So who will be eliminated the quickest in the Women's Rumble match?
I have Aaliyah written down.
So Aaliyah, or you don't mind if I put it down as Nymph, do you? That's not an issue.
We see her doing much in this Rumble, so I think she's going to be gone the quickest.
Monty, who do you think is going to be gone the quickest?
Funny you say that because I wrote that initially, but then I was like, Natalia has been so annoying about breaking records. Why not make her the fastest person out ever or whatever? Fastest woman out ever, if that's even possible. I think you can beat Liv's record. So, yeah, I'm going Natalia.
Yeah, no, I actually went Natalia as well because, like you said, you can see her moaning even when Nymph comes out and goes, come on, and then gets eliminated like that. And even maybe beat the Santino record, if that is even possible. I don't know how you would be able to do it, but I'm sure...
it has to be timed perfectly.
Yeah, you would have, honestly, as soon as you're in, you're going out. Jaxie, who's your Santino for the women's?
Surprise, surprise. I have written down Natty as well. I see her being eliminated the fastest, and then she'll come out like the next week trying to boast that she's broken another world record instead.
Right, yeah.
And then up next is the Iron Woman. So who will be longest in the Rumble? I'll say, well, I'm going to go with the old favourite. My one is Sasha Banks. Does love to be in the Rumble a long time. I wouldn't be surprised to see her coming at even number 1 or 2, if I haven't ruined that for later. And then doing the majority of the match. Monty, what about you?
For some reason, my thought process was just that she would just I don't think she will win, but I think she'll do it again, like just be there in a very long time again, and like because I think Bianca's another pick you can bring out early, maybe one or two, and she can set the tone for what the match is going forward, and I think she can go along the longest in the entire match. I don't know why, but I just had a feeling Bianca could do it 2 years in a row, going longest.
No, that makes perfect sense. Jaxie?
I think like both your choices are really valid, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're accurate in that. But I actually have Asuka down as the Iron Woman. I also kind of feel like if she was to be a surprise entrant, then she's gonna like come in at like number 1 or something, like with her actual entrance, where everyone can actually just like enjoy like her coming back, especially if she comes in with like, her big kimono and everything. So I'm going with Asuka.
No, excellent choice. Gina?
Yeah, from mine, I actually think I've got Shayna written down.
That makes sense. Baszler coming in, having a dominant Raw matchup. Speaking of dominant Raw Rumbles, who will have the most eliminations in the Women's Rumble match? Monty? I'm not saying Monty will have the most eliminations. I'm asking you the question.
Right. I'm going with. I also, I'm expecting her to return back from injury. So yeah, I'm going with. I think Asuka. I think a great way to reintroduce her, maybe in a more dominant fashion, kind of like what we remember back in her NXT days. She just go on a rampage and eliminate a good 10 women, maybe even 11. I don't know why. That feels right. It'd be a nice dominant way. So I think maybe not that many. Maybe I'm going a little too high on my number, but yeah, I think she can finish the match with most eliminations, and I wouldn't be mad.
That's Oscar there. I'm going to say Charlotte for most eliminations. I think she's going to talk herself up.
I'm not mad at that either.
A good game.
Safe as best.
How close I got and got eliminated right at the end. Jaxie, do you agree?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I've got written down for that Shayna. I feel like if they do book her as dominant, she would be the one to do it.
And Gina?
Yeah. I have Bianca written down.
Yeah, good bit.
I've just realised I forgot something on the men's Rumble match, so we're going to go back to the men's Rumble quickly because I forgot about surprises. So we've actually got 3 surprise picks.
Oh yeah,
for the men's ones that I actually haven't done yet. So, Monty, if you just tell me who your surprise 3 picks for the men's Rumble, who you think going to be surprised, and that said, only 5 spaces left.
I couldn't think of anybody out of the that's not in the WWE bubble already, because I just don't see anyone outside the company really wanting to do it. I mean, I wouldn't. It would be a shock, but I just couldn't think of anyone. But I'm going with Carmelo Hayes. I think they'd like to call it, show. They've been complaining about people not getting behind NXT 2.0 people. I don't think Carmelo Hayes is one of those people that they have a problem with, because I think he's one of the strongest, if not the strongest character left on NXT. So I'm going with him. And I think Braun Breaker is also, he's the NXT champion. I think a great way to showcase him. And maybe maybe wishful thinking, but Tommaso Ciampa would also be another strong entrant, just to have some moments and just, maybe even get a nice pop, on the main roster. So I stuck with NXT and thought that maybe they would showcase some of the best that they have to offer. Maybe even the LA Knight.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, LA Knight, it would be be fantastic. I put Drew ? And I thought, no, I'm not going to have that surprise because he's going to win the Rumble anyway, so I'll leave him out. Right. So I've gone like you, Tommaso Ciampa, and another guy I think is ready. It's Pete Dunne. Of course, both of them being on main event recently.
Oh, how did I forget Pete?
Well, the other one as well, we spoke about earlier, I think Corey Graves is going to be a surprise in the Rumble match, either from commentary table or elsewhere. So Dunne, Ciampa, and Graves for me. Jaxie, who are you going to go for surprise? 3 surprises in the men's Rumble.
Okay, so I think my choices are a bit bold. So let me just go with the safe option, which I think is going to be Walter. That's how I know him.
Gunther.
That's how I know him. No.
No.
No one.
then I think that we could potentially get Braun Strowman.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
right. This last one, I'm really going out on a limb here, right? But it could be Johnny Gargano, only because he's not got a contract. He's vocally said recently that until Candice gives birth, he's got no interest in looking to sign with anyone. He wants to kind of take care of her and stay at home. But why not make a bit of money on the side if they're offering you a little bit of money to come back just for this one event? So I'm being a bit bold here, but I'm saying we could potentially just see him.
I thought you were going to say Cody.
That's not bad.
Yeah, to be fair, that's not.
That's what I was thinking too.
Gino, who are you going to go for?
So I also had Walter written down. I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go with Veer.
No,
finally.
He's not going to come finally.
It's finally going to find his way. Veer's going to turn up. And he's going to have a match in his hand.
Ironically, he still hasn't shown up to Raw. Have him show up here and still miss Raw tomorrow.
I'll be there. I honestly want this to happen. I feel like you should get double points if he actually turns up on it because he turned up on the wrong show.
Brilliant. That is brilliant.
Double points.
That's my favorite. Veer is my favorite answer all night now.
Right? Who would have thought?
I think that as well.
That's brilliant. Right, so that's the men's rumble done. Of course, apart from Lucky Number, we'll come back to that. Now switch back to the women's, and we're doing who eliminates who for the women's rumble. So I'll go be quite easy because I've realised now, look at my notes, I did the women's one and I just forgot about the men's. It's not an issue. Who eliminates who? I'm going to go Nikki Cross eliminating Rhea Ripley. I'm going to go Charlotte eliminating Mickie James because they're bastards like that. And I am going to say Belair eliminating Charlotte possibly to win the Rumble match. So those are mine. Nice and simple. Monty, who are you going for?
I'm on the same boat as you on Nikki. I think Nikki is going to definitely eliminate Rhea. I think that'll be a big first step for this new take on her, kind of delusional superhero role that I think she's heading towards. And, and I don't know about y'all, but unless these vignettes are just for nothing, I think Alexa Bliss probably can eliminate Charlotte here, or at least get some type of payback, because they keep mentioning this Lily character and all of that, and we all know how that ended. So I don't know. That's what my thinking was there. But if not Alexa Bliss, someone returning probably will get her in my mind, but I could be wrong. And I'm going with Naomi eliminating Sonya. Right after the show last night, I couldn't get a third one. I couldn't think of one. And then after I watched SmackDown and got that, saw how that was going, I thought Naomi getting another, one up on Sonya after the months and months of mistreatment would be something that I can see happening.
Yeah,
or at least
excellent.
hope for happening.
That makes all the sense in the world. Jaxie, what's your three?
I actually have the same as Monty in terms of Naomi eliminating Sonya. Mm-hmm. I think that will be kind of the Justicers, considering they had their match where she won 24 hours earlier. So it would be just as sweet, especially because the way that match ended, Sonya just had to put herself into the Royal Rumble straight after. Do you know what I mean? So it would be so much more to have Naomi be the one to eliminate her. I actually got Lita eliminating Charlotte. I would love to.
Yeah.
Especially because those two squared off against each other. I would actually love to see that. Maybe Lita come in at a later time where Charlotte's been dominant or whatever. And then actually kind of Lita just come out and dominate her. Bye, bitch. I then had Shayna Baszler
eliminate. She could possibly eliminate Charlotte. So there's two options there.
So we got Nomi, Deville, Lita, and Charlotte, and so what was the last one? Charlotte.
No, Shayna possibly eliminating Charlotte because I could see a feud happening there.
Gotcha, no problems with that one. Gina, what about your three?
I am also the same. I had Naomi getting rid of Sonya. I actually have Doudrop getting rid of Alexa. Random.
No,
and I have Aaliyah getting rid of Natty.
So Nymph getting rid of Nat, which none of us put, even though we said it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, right. Didn't even think about that.
It's because they're literally our choices for quickest elimination. So
Yeah,
It was so obvious that we was like, "Ah, screw it."
yeah. Think outside the box. Yeah, no. This is why I don't win. So who knows who? So what would be good? Surprise entrance in the Women's Rumble match. So I should say at the moment we have got Carmella, Dana Brooke, Nikki Ash, Queen Zelina, Rhea Ripley, Tamina, Nymph, Charlotte, Naomi, Natalia, Baszler, Shotzi, Brie, Nikki, Lita, Kelly, Michelle McCall, Mickie James, Summer Rae, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, Sonya Deville, and 7 more. So out of those 7, we're going to pick 3 surprises, and we will go Monty first.
All right. My last one is kind of wishful thinking, but I already mentioned Bayley. I was like, I thought that would be a complete surprise because she's kind of been radio silent, even though I think, I think she will be returning sooner than later. But, so I just think maybe tonight would be a great way to do it and a surprise. And like I said, she's never won the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, Bayley. I think Io Shirai would be a perfect way to just bring perfect thing. That entrance.
She's so cool. She's so cool.
Right? Oh, my God. Like, awesome. Exactly. She's top notch. So, we all know what Io Shirai is about. I think she'll be perfect here. And, I just had one that just popped up in my head that's kind of safer, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with this because it's maybe wishful thinking, but it would be sweet. I wouldn't mind if, a Kyrie Sane was to also surprise us and just, show up just for, even if it's just for a little spot, maybe even a callback with Asuka. Maybe her, Asuka, and Io all have a moment, something. Maybe I'm just, wishful thinking. But yeah, that's what I thought of. Even though a safer bet would have been somebody like Raquel.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. My one's surprises. Trish Stratus. I think they've got to have Trish in the Rumble. You have a little face-off with Lita. I think Trish has been in most of the Women's Rumble matches anyway.
Right.
Bayley returning. Like you said, the pop she's going to get is fantastic. My only issue is if she does return, for her to not win it and the crowd not to turn off maybe Belair if she does. Be interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
And again, wishful thinking, someone I've not heard a lot about recent times, and I know WWE were reaching out to former talent, Ember Moon showing up at the Rumble will be...
yeah, good, nice.
That would be a good choice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, a couple of eclipses and then, quickly or whatever, but be interested to see what happens. What about you, Jaxie?
Sorry, let me just... Okay, so I actually had the same idea as Monty in terms of a little bit of wishful thinking with Kairi Sane. I didn't decide to put Asuka in this list only because she was my choice for winner, so that was obvious that she would be returning, so I didn't put her as a surprise entrance. But I also did have Trish written down, and I also actually think we could see Dakota Kai, which would be fun.
Yep.
I really want
I like that.
Yeah.
I really want seeing her turn up on the main roster. I think she actually could. I think that the main roster of women could do with someone a little bit like Dakota Kai. Kind of reminds me a little bit extreme, like a young Lita, just unhinged, like uncontrollable. So I really would like to see whether or not she could be brought up and utilized.
Yeah,
Gina.
Yeah, so I had this one's like my wishful thinking one, and just seeing Victoria come back.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a widow's peak, please.
So that's like a little bit of wishful thinking. But I also have Raquel Gonzalez written down.
Yeah.
Because I just think that she's beast mode, so why not include her? And my last one is going to be a bit controversial. Maybe I'm going to go with Paige.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know what? That is excellent. That is excellent.
Yeah.
I just put check next page next to surprise entrance, and I saw Paige's name there, and you just said it. I'll go, that makes all the sense in the world. Paige coming up. That is really, really good. Excellent choice there for the surprise. All right, so now we've got final four for the women's matchup, and for me...
do who comes out first and 30th first?
Do you want to do that before final four? All right, fine. Fine. Put all the rules, that's fine. All right, so number one in the women's Rumble match then. Monty, you first. Who are you going to go for?
I'm going to go with Bianca. Go with Bianca Belair coming out first.
So, Belair is first for you. Jaxie?
I'm going with Asuka.
Asuka for Jaxie.
Start with a surprise.
Gina?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Shayna.
You're going Baszler for that one. I'm going to go Charlotte because I've put her down for most eliminations, even though I should have gone Banks if she's going to be Iron Woman. I fucked this up now. I'm going to go Sasha. Oh, no. Fuck it. I'm going to go Banks. I've changed it. Banks number 1, Charlotte number 2. I know I'm not doing number 2, but that's what I would say there. So that's number 1. So number 30 then for the Rumble. Monty, who was your number 30?
Let's see. I didn't put her as a surprise because I just, like you mentioned, she's been in most of them. So I just figured somebody like Trish can be last, like just to finish it off strong or something, like a legendary entrance at the end there, and maybe put doubt. But I don't think she even make the final four. So.
No. What about you, Jaxie?
So I actually have Kyrie coming in at number 30 because of it kind of goes alongside sort of my Iron Woman description of Asuka holding her own throughout the whole bit. And then she's kind of maybe a bit too tired towards the end when the final number 30 comes out and then she's being pounded on. And then Kyrie comes in just for that saving grace moment before, like, Asuka can win it. So that's like my ideal, like, Asuka winning Royal Rumble moment.
Yeah, that's great. Number 30, Gina.
Ooh.
I'm also going to go with Paige at this point because if she is a surprise return, then I would expect them to maybe put her in at number 30. Because even if she is cleared to wrestle, I think they're going to want to keep her safe and protected. So they're not going to want her coming in at like number 1.
Yeah.
So I'd have 30.
Yeah.
That upping my expectations, man.
Yeah, I know that's what you're doing. We're setting ourselves up for massive disappointment.
Be so bummed out.
When
it's so
Summer Rae is number 30.
Do not do that.
No, that's going to happen now, James. Oh my God. I think she'll get the worst reception.
I can't help it.
Strategists don't come back. We get Eve Torres or Eva Marie.
Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
Fox. Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys think Maria Kanellis could be a contestant?
Oh my God. I want to know more with that. Number 30 for me, I'm going to say Bayley. I put it as a surprise, and what better way, surprise number than number 30. So we have got final 4 for the women's matchup. My final 4 is Mickie, Charlotte, Bayley, Belair. That is my final 4. Monty, what about you?
Yeah, I picked Asuka, Bayley, Bianca, and I think Alexa. Like I think Alexa's gonna have an underrated role in this Royal Rumble. I don't, and I could be wrong, but I think she may end up in the final 4.
So you got Asuka, Belair, Bayley,
and Alexa,
and Bliss. There you go, perfect. Jaxie?
I've got Shayna, Bianca, Asuka, and Dakota.
Do you run that through again?
Asuka, Bianca, Shayna, and Dakota.
Okay.
Bears and Kai. That's cool. And Gina?
I've got Banks, Bianca, Shayna, and Alexa.
So there we go with the final 4. So that is all nearly done. The only thing we've got to do is draw 4 lucky numbers. Now I'm going to use the latest of modern technology to ask them, and hopefully this works. I call it live, so I'll go first just in case anybody thinks I'm cheating. Give me a number between 1 and 30.
Here's a random number, 30.
Right, whoa, right, so...
Okay.
That's not bad. I'll take that. So I've got number 30 as mine. So that's men and women's sorting out. Now, Monty, do you mind if I ask them for your number as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me a number between 1 and 30.
Here's a random number, 7.
Sorry, Monty.
Right? Holy crap.
Now, Jaxie, do you mind me drawing your number?
Yes, go for it.
Give me a number between 1 and 30.
Number 7.
10. Oh, fucking hell. Jaxie, 10. So, Gina, you're last. And again, I'll ask the question. You don't mind me drawing your number?
No, I don't mind. Go for it.
Give me a number between 1 and 30.
7.
Oh, no. You can't do 7.
You have to redraw.
I'm going to redraw this.
We got hold.
Give me a number between 1 and 30.
7. Oh, bro.
It's not 7.
20.
20. There you go.
That's much better. Much better.
Much better. So,
much
Monty, you're 7. Jaxie, you are 10. Gina, you're 20.
I don't think Bailey or Drew is coming out at 7.
I'm 30. No, but as we talked about, 25% of the winners of the Royal Rumble have come out between 1 and 10.
And
so
10.
You've got a quarter of a
I'm
chance.
hoping somebody.
Both of you have got a quarter of a chance to win. This is why we do statistics. Yes, me and Gina probably got a 53.5% chance, but that doesn't matter. It's about the men's and the women's. So when you're watching the Rumble later, and you see number 7 wins, you go, that lucky bastard, Monty. He didn't even know.
Didn't even know. But if number 7 is Tozawa or something, you say that poor bastard.
Reginald. It could be Reginald.
It will be Reginald.
Right. God damn it.
Well, it's all fair. So we have done the Rumble mini-games. What does everybody think of that? I mean, it's quite an involved experience, but I think it's fun because it adds a little extra layer to the Rumble match.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was just so hard to guess this year, man. Like, they really did a good job of just, like, it's really hard to have a clue. Like, think about all the surprises. Like, we just created probably one of the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-views just on what we hoped might happen. So, like, yeah, it's just so hard to predict this show.
It's going to be such an interesting night, and kickoff starts in just over an hour. I cannot believe the Rumble this year, as a British fan, starts in the morning, which means it's probably going to be a 5 o'clock finish, because there's no way the Rumble pay-per-view event is going to be less than 3 hours, especially with 2 Rumbles. No. It's just not going to happen.
No. So this is going to be a long night. But do you know what? The dedication is there, especially because they did us a favor by putting it on a Saturday.
Yeah. It sucks even worse when it's on a Sunday, because we've got
we got to go away. So we have to wait until the end of the day, get home, cook dinner and stuff before we can even actually get started on avoiding all social media all day so that we don't get anything ruined for us.
Yeah, and do you guys get the same thing that I do sometimes at work when I'm there? And I'm going, right, I've turned Twitter off my phone, I've turned everything off, I've got no surprises whatsoever. And then some fucking idiot comes up to you and goes, oh, fucking Drew McIntyre won the Rumble last night, didn't he? He goes, no, dickhead.
Honestly,
You watch wrestling?
You know what? I've actually had that done to me by someone who doesn't even watch wrestling, but they just read about it.
Oh, you like wrestling?
They knew I was into wrestling, so came up to me that morning and told me. And I had just started this job, but I literally wanted to murder this person.
I know. Why do people? If you, I don't get it. It's almost like every year non-wrestling fans go, oh, I could ruin it for wrestling fans now. I've got a 24-hour period where if I can go, oh, fuck, Drew won or whoever won, it would just ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got that as British fans. But, like, you know, like I say, this is why we do a pre-show to try and keep everybody ready, willing and awake as they get ready for the Royal Rumble later. Before we go, just going to look at February's schedule because, like I said, we're all busy as we talk about with our jobs and we're live sniffing like this to try and come around.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind trying to sort out a Rumble review. To try and, you know, obviously look at the entire event. Now, I don't know if anything works out for you guys, but this week coming, I'm available on Tuesday to do a Rumble review. I don't know if that works out for any of you guys.
I'll be free on Tuesday.
Just double check. Give me 1 second.
No problem, so You're listening to the WNR podcast. Plan another podcast on live shows because
I think that should be fine.
Yeah, Tuesday should be okay for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for the first time ever, I think if us as a group do the whole Rumble review show, then we could do the mini games and everything like that as we go along as well.
And that would be quite fun, actually, especially just to kind of discuss all of our answers tonight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go then. You've heard it all.
We can share the pain if Bobby loses.
Bobby losing, Charlotte winning, everything happening.
Charlotte wins. Like, can you just already prepare for what is to come from it? I'm not going to make any excuses. Like, I'm just going to go all out. So either like don't turn up for it if Charlotte wins, or just skip my part once we just start to discuss it.
Yeah, we're about that. And like I said, February is going to be fun because we'll, of course, have an AEW show as well. NXT Vengeance Day is this month. We've got the Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia. Impact No Surrender looking really good this month as well. We're going to keep an eye on it. There are rumours as well, guys, that the Ultimate One may be about at some point in time as well. I don't know. Ooh. One thing I do know is that our next live show will definitely be March 6th because that will be AEW Revolution. And even though how great was WWE Rumble is tonight, I think with AEW there's always a level of excitement that we get there. So if you guys are up for it, that will be our next live show.
Awesome. I'm up for it.
MJF and Punk. I'm ready.
Yeah, it should be fun. But that is it for now. Like I said, you've got these guys' words. They're going to be here Tuesday with me to look at the Royal Rumble event. But don't forget, across all social media, Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNRJR. Monty, where can people find you?
You can find me at Mind Monty Pod, and also on, especially Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcast there, you can listen to the Mind of Monty. Been really active over there this year. Just been having fun. We've been reviewing the Peacemaker series, getting to see sides of John Cena I thought I'd never see in my life. But it's been fun, and so yeah, come check it out, and we have fun over there on the Mind of Monty podcast. But yeah, at Mind Monty Pod, hit me up, tell me my predictions suck. Come console me if Bobby lose. Like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, one of the things I'm quite jealous with Monty is that he does kind of non-wrestling stuff, like I said, the Peacemaker series and stuff like this as well. But if you want to go more in depth for like Wrestle Kingdom, Monty's got a full review up there as well to listen to. Because I've been watching The Mandalorian and I've been wondering if I'm going to do any reviews on the podcast, and I just know the hate of just do fucking wrestling.
I mean,
Yeah, I've got mixtures, but I told him it's called Mind and Munchie for a reason. So
yeah. I say Mandalorian. I mean Book of Boba Fett, but I've just seen the last episode and it was fucking excellent. So anyway,
I've only just started it, so
I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to ruin it. This is the way. Anyway, Jaxie, where can people find you on the internet?
So everyone can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm at Jaxie Scarlett.
And Gina, do you want to be found? It's up to you. I'm not going to leave it in your hands.
I'm sure the people who really despised my Miz choice would love to find me in something.
They were more. I wouldn't say they were more concerned. I just didn't know if. It was just concerned about mental health, well-being, and stuff. Just
their thoughts to me on Twitter at Purple Pain and on Instagram at Purple Rain 1089.
Excellent. Well, the WNR also on Facebook and Instagram across all Google platforms. Send us an email at WNRpodcast@gmail.com and YouTube, the WNR Podcast. We have all latest clips and podcasts got at the same time on YouTube as they do SoundCloud on your phone and also Spotify and iTunes where you can download, subscribe, rate and review there. So that is it. Like I said, our next episode will be Tuesday for the Rumble review. But until then, I've been joined by the fantastic WNR team, which includes Monty, Jaxie and Gina. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us and talking shit for 3.5 hours, even though we've still got another 6 hours to go for the Royal Rumble. I really, really appreciate it.
It was a breeze, man. It went by like crazy, honestly.
Well, I'm just glad everybody enjoyed it. There's nobody that enjoyed it more than I. So, listen, everybody, and bye.
Adios.
Bye.